Hey everybody, how you doing? Good to see you. DavidSnedeker here on this Thursday evening. Had to come to you tonight, my friends. I have it's been quite the week to remember, quite the weeks to remember, and there's no lack of things happening. And I just, I wanted to just really come and kind of touch base on a couple things, um, and just kind of come together because I know a lot of people, just have questions and trying to figure things out, and a lot of things flying at us. And if I can be of some assistance in kind of deciphering some of those things, may I offer my services to you. Um, let's see. So, my friends, I'm checking out just going to the chat now. We are on Hawk's YouTube, Mustard Seeds 25. Hawk's Mustard Seeds 25. We're on Rumble, The Indoctrination. We are on X at DaveSnedeker and at Hawk's Mustard Seeds. I think we're supposed to be. I don't see Hawk's Twitter feed up there. Let me see if I can correct that. And I have done so. Yeah. So, my friends, what a time to be alive. Charlie D in the first in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you all. Richard, good to see you. Southern Belle, Mr. Sciatica. Happy birthday to you. You knew it was coming, brother. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kevin. Happy birthday to you. And many, many more, my friend, in absolutely basking in freedom and just innocence and goodness moving forward in our lives. Happy birthday. It is going to be a wonderful, wonderful existence. We just need to finish the work we have to do here. Kareen, how are you? Dina, good to see you. I hope you had a wonderful birthday last night. I'm so glad you spent part of it with us. Evening, Dave. Tammy, how are you? Evening, everyone. Lisa, good to see you. Georgia in the house. David, listening from Connecticut. Good evening, everyone. And David, good to see you, man. Richard, hi, Southern Belle. I love that you guys are connected in the chat. Tammy, good to see you. Viola, Karen. Let's see, another late night in the Sned shed. Hopefully, I won't go that late because it really throws me off for the next day. Hi, Dave. You like the nights? I do. I do. I'm gonna do some daytime stuff. I just haven't gotten in the rhythm yet. And yeah, but I want to do some daytime stuff. Let's see. Long Island reporting in Dave and Patriots. Good to have you with us, Long Island. On Long Island, Daryl, good to see you. Sharon, hello, Sned heads. Sharon in the USA. Everybody, Southern Belle, just reaching out to everybody. Look at that. How awesome. How awesome. Thank you, Dave and Hawk, for all that you do and the sacrifices you make and the time you spend educating and enlightening us. You're very welcome, Dina. Hawk had a long show today. I caught some of it, and just wow, so much going on, and so much. And thank you, Dina, for your support. Dina is one of these folks that not only does she watch and engage, but she actually sends donations, which is a huge, huge help. And so much appreciation there, Dina. She tips her waiters. Yep. And Dave, on almost daily, things are definitely heating up. Yes, we gotta step it up, my friends. We got to step it up. Parisian, good to see you. We got a 311 across 4 platforms, and what do we have? What do we have? 218 over in Rumble. And I will tell you, folks, the later I go on, the smaller audience I have. So it would behoove me to start a little bit earlier because, a lot of people are already in bed on the East Coast. So I am going to be doing more of that. I promise. And, also, yeah, not keep you guys up past your bedtimes. I wanted to jump into a couple things here. One is that a very interesting, a very interesting story that just broke. I'm going to go into my X. Excuse me. I'm going to go into my X and share some of the things in there because most of it, a lot of times, just so you know, sometimes I'll share things on my X and I won't necessarily comment on them because I'm going to comment on my show. So that's why you see me, reposting a lot of people with maybe not necessarily making my contents because that's not necessarily my content, right? That's not necessarily my content. My content is coming to you in front of you like this. Yeah, thank you all for the birthday wishes, Mr. Sciatica. Thank you. Sharon in the USA, you like nights. Cindy Duncan, so happy to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Margaret, thank you. Thank you, Dina. Love you too. Nights are fine, like the old days. Yep. Let's see. Good days, good days. All right, Mary, Connecticut here. Good evening, Dave. So glad I caught you. I love it when you guys catch me live, certainly. But I do want to say a big shout out to those who do not watch live, watch at a different time, and just say, hey, thanks for doing that, and sorry when you miss the lives, because it is a good vibe, great vibe, and and D, Sned, so glad to see you again tonight. Thank you, D, and thank you for your donation as well. Appreciate it. Julie, I love the nights. Yes. How many of y'all have fallen asleep to my voice at least at least once? And if more, how many times have you fallen asleep to my voice? Be honest. You're not going to you're not going you're not going to give me a complex. But thank you, Agnes. Hello, love you or missed. Thank you very much. Christy, hey, Uncle David, so wonderful to catch you. Christy, so great to see you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How's your little girl? Christy. Oh my goodness. It's been a minute. Mimisco, yes, have fallen asleep to your voice. A few, can't lie. Yep. Me, best sleep ever. Eclectic Dawn. Hawk. Hawk's sleeping now. I slept with you a lot. Yes, I get that a lot without really the benefit, honestly, of it all. Snowmake me fell asleep sitting up three times, sitting up. Yes, and woken up and you're still talking. Marathon Man, Margaret, that's hilarious. Susan, I love the beach shows. Okay, thank you. That's awesome. Shelly, me, Mary, a lot. Let's see. Wikiwachi, Florida here. Thanks for all your hard work. We'll have to go on Rumble to tip you. Yes, Sandora, thank you so much. Folks, tips on Rumble are so easy. They're called Rumble Rants. And there's a little $ down at the bottom of the chat, which is really great. And folks, again, the reason why I show you Rumble is because it's I'm very partial to Rumble, and I got to tell you why. Rumble is the only major platform that hasn't terminated me. So I want to show them some love. So down here, at the bottom is a little dollar sign, and you click on that. You go up, and you could put in whatever dollar you want. Let me do some subliminal messaging here. What's that? What's that? 400, 500. Subliminal. You're getting sleepy. You're getting sleepy. Donate. No, I'm teasing. But that's where you do it. That's where you do it. And then you can put whatever you rant you want there. You can say whatever you want. And it'll post for like 10 minutes up at the top, which is kind of cool. And then I get to see it. And we're supporting Rumble, which is the only platform, again, that has not terminated me. So, my friends, welcome one and all. Good evening, Dave and all. Gerard. About every time on the late nights, Kathy, still people falling asleep. Me, LOL, LOL Hawk. Yes, but only because it was late. All right. Thank you for that. Countless times, Dino. Trisha, you have. Roca, I have slept with you so many times, Dave. Thank you, Robin. And thank you for your donation today as well. You have a calming effect. Well, folks, that's what the hope, right? The hope. Hi, Julie. Only once, actually. I love your tone. Only once, Julie. That's pretty impressive because you've been with me a lot. Viola, I don't fall asleep to your voice, but I feel peaceful listening to you. Thank you. Yes, Dave, your voice puts me to sleep. Got to listen the next day. LOL, Kathy. Thank you. Me every night when you're not on. Oh, okay. All right. Every night when you're not on. Every night when you're. I'm trying to figure that one out. So, Christy, your voice is absolutely conforming. Have been snoozing to it since the salt lamp days. Mini Sned will be 5 next month. No way. Wow. God love her. Awesome. Let's see. If I fall asleep, I always go back and watch the replay. Proud deplorable. Let's see. Sean, what's up, brother? Dave, the brain massager. Sean from Boston. How you doing, my man? It's been a minute, Sean Hickey. Where the hell you been, dude? Still sticking around Facebook, I see. Southern Belle, but I listen to what I missed. I wake up and you're still on when I wake up. Yeah, that happens a lot. More times than I can count. Karen, it's your soothing voice. Fell asleep a few times and also woke up to you too. Very cool. Well, folks, this is just kind of having some fun with you tonight. Every time I listen live, then I listen the next day while working. Love you, Dave. Happy birthday to Sciatica, I guess. Anne Marie from Michigan. Thank you. Rosie Fields, Ireland. Welcome, Rosie Fields. Good to have you here. Fantastic. All right. ASMR voice. Tammy, is this what you're talking about? The pop. I can't even do that. Let's see. I like you, but I'm not sleeping with you. Thank you, Mr. Brightside. I appreciate that. Thank you, Roca. The head Sned at David $ DavidSnedeker on CashApp. I appreciate that. Cool. All right, my friends. Good to see everybody. That voice is better than a sleeping pill. That's great. All right. So let me get into Jim, you still haven't answered my email. No, Jim, I have been getting a little bit over inundated with emails. My apologies. But let's see. I've got let's see. I've got like 3 in the past week. Most of the stuff I see. And it's but I just go ahead and ask your question here, brother. So this is let me get to my let me start with the day. Let me see. Couple things. Let's see. Something's going on. It's not loading. Just 4 hours ago. Okay. So this is for those of you that are on X, this is great. If for you, those of you who are not, this is an opportunity to see some of the stuff I do over there. The guy in the Joey mask said he was stepping out of the race within it's time to pass the torch on to the next generation. Let me play this for you. Script Keeper shared this. You're going to stay in the race. You're going to drop out. Here's my I am running and we're going to win. I'm not going to change it. Where's my that's like an old grandpa yelling at you, isn't it? I am running and we're going to win. I'm not going to change it. In recent weeks, it's become clear to me I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. So I decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. It's the best way to unite our nation. I'm going to come back to that in a second, but so good to know it's torches they are using to burn our country to the ground. Symbolic is the man who burned the American flag yesterday, passing the torch to a woman who was not born to American parents. She cannot be president, period. They're going to find that out. The difference between Obama not being born here and pretending that he was in Hawaii is that the number of people awake in the population was not there as it is now. We have many more people awake, so we're not going to put up with that. There's a reason that the law exists in the Constitution. We need true-blooded and die-hard Americans, people who would rather die than betray their fellow man and country. We don't have that right now. We don't have that, and therein lies the problem we face today. We are being ruled by those who want us sick, but well enough to consume, and then dead sooner than later. These torches have done enough damage in the hands of compassionless cabal cucks. Game over. That was about 4 hours ago. I'm going to go forward here. This is very interesting. If you haven't seen this, I want you to see this. And this is really important. And I've got to, let me see. Let me get out of the way here. No, I got to bring it over. My bad. I got to bring it over to, got to bring it over here. I got to do that. Bear with me here, folks. Just got it to the wrong platform. That's all. And then I got a couple really interesting decodes I want to share with you. Okay. All right. So this is following up to that Kamala thing. All right. All right. Here we go.
I can't be the only person who's disturbed by these figures and how much money she's raised in one day, or who also doesn't believe them.
Yeah, did Kamala Harris actually raise $81 million in 24 hours and over $100 million in 36 hours, mostly from small dollar donors, according to Democratic fundraising platform ActBlue? I mean, those numbers would be astronomical for anyone, let alone a candidate who received a whopping 844 votes in the 2020 Democratic primary. So I can understand why people are a little sus about those numbers. And looking into this, things are about to get real murky, and I am not sure if people are going to like what I found. So I'm citing a 2023 article in the Carolina Journal. Investigation indicates ActBlue potentially laundered fraudulent political donations. An investigative journalist from North Carolina, Stephen Horn, has made a significant discovery in the Federal Election Commission database, revealing a scheme to potentially launder fraudulent political donations through multiple left-wing organizations, including Act Blue. Remember, Act Blue is the primary Democratic fundraising platform online. All right, so Horn and 2 other volunteers, Kelly Lane and Steve, unearthed evidence of 2 Raleigh residents whose names and addresses were employed to record substantial amounts of money donated to Democratic organizations. And just so everybody's aware, platforms like Act Blue are required to disclose political contributions to the FEC, including who made the donation, when they made it, their address, and the amount of the donation. Look at this data. This is so bizarre. One donor, same day, just dozens of contributions. By the way, this is all public information, so you can go to the FEC website, do a search, see what you find. All right, the article goes on. However, a perplexing twist emerged when both individuals emphatically stated their inability to contribute such exorbitant sums.
There was a flurry of donations made in your name. About 20 donations. Have you ever donated to Act Blue?
Yeah.
Okay. These donations made. Do they look familiar to you at all?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, so you can see there's a bunch of $100 donations in your name with this address. Oh, well, that's okay.
Jeez Louise.
I did not make a flurry of,
One would remember that.
Yeah, you can't watch that and tell me something fishy is not going on. The result of these investigations suggests that the Act Blue fundraising platform is being used to launder fraudulent political donations using the names and addresses of ordinary citizens. If the individual whose name and address is on a contribution did not, in fact, make that contribution, it seems likely that the money is coming from a source which would not be legally able to make the contribution directly. That is wild. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that's what's going on right now because we don't have the data for that. The FEC website is only updated, or the disclosure only happens on a monthly basis. But what I am saying is that based on past reporting, I should probably ask a few more questions as to where the hundreds of millions of dollars actually came from. Or maybe it's just nothing.
Yeah, this is illegal, folks. This is absolutely illegal what's happening, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. I have said that once Joe steps out, once he checks out or steps out, I think they're going to check him out. I give her a week, if that, before the house of cards comes crumbling down. Folks, we are at over 1,000 beautiful people total. I wanted to say thank you to a few folks that are chiming in on over on the Rumble channel with some Rumble rants. Mimisco, thank you for your donation. Thank you, Dave, is the message. Patty J63, thank you. Thanks, Dave. Been listening since 2020. Thank you very much, Patty. Sandy Grace, $10. Sandora here from Wiki Wachi and X. Thanks for all you do, especially when I can't sleep. You seem to help that too. Thank you, Sandy. Edward is now a monthly supporter. Thank you, Edward, so much, and for sharing out. Please like, tab, friends, and share. Thank you so much for that. And folks, you can do that. You can set up for a monthly if you'd like to support me monthly, which is very helpful as well. So, so that is that's kind of, Kamala, folks, is not. She's not going to be around. That's why Obama hasn't come out and supported her, because she's not sticking around at all. This, my friends, I believe is happening. I believe it's happened today. I haven't gotten full confirmation on this, but there is some shit going down at the Capitol. This is an F-35 hovering right at the Capitol. I'm going to make it bigger. Oh, here it is.
What is going on? Are you kidding me? What is that? is that?
That is trippy, my friends, and that is basically Deep Web Slinger shared that. Anyone have any idea why a $100 million F-35 fighter jet hovering literally right on top of the U.S. Capitol? We've also seen and I said, welcome to the 2024 Hunger Games, where the deep state destroys itself as we watch, clutching our popcorn in one hand and gun in the other. This is so much going on in DC. So much going on down by the Capitol, the Federal Reserve Building. I recommend you follow Nancy Drew. And fences going up, et cetera, et cetera. It's really quite tragic to see that level, because what's also going on is outside law enforcement is coming in, not National Guard, but 200 New York City police officers for starters. Okay. There are, let me see how many of these I actually shared with you today. Yeah. And basically I said, if New York isn't already in enough trouble, they send 200 of their best to Washington, D.C., and they're sworn in as special officers. Okay? So they'll be protecting the capital of our nation. So these are 200 New York City, law enforcement personnel. Okay, and that's significant. The other thing is, I can't confirm this, but there's a lot of buzz going around because Brad Barton, who I really don't know, but a trusted friend likes him and trusts him. And but Brad said that a friend of his from the U.S. Marshal Service is being called into D.C. and also said 6,000 U.S. Marshals are going into D.C. Well, I did some research on that, and unfortunately, there are that can't be accurate unless there's retired U.S. Marshals going as well, because the U.S. Marshals Service have. Let me share this with you. They served 94, one for each federal court district. But total, they have 3,571 deputy U.S. Marshals and criminal investigators. Now, to be fair, Brad did come back later on his Twitter and say it was 3,000 was the number, which is a big jump, obviously, from 6,000. So that's a bit concerning regarding, receipts and wanting to make sure everything is accurate. And so, therefore, it's important to, have all the receipts, if you will, with you on something such as this. But I think that if we're not splitting hairs, which, 3,000 people is it's more than splitting hairs, but in terms of the intent of the information and the necessity of being able to decipher that information, we know something's going down. We know that Bibi Netanyahu is there. We know that Congress ended their session. And just FYI, folks, whenever we've talked about arrests being made in DC, it's important to understand, and this goes back a couple years now, because when they were putting the fences up the first time when Biden was being inaugurated, I thought that I did a tweet and I said that that feeling you get when you realize that the fences aren't made to keep people out, they're made to keep people in. And there's a certain part of me that still believes that many of these people have been certainly arrested and or um, uh, made a deal with and compromised, in the sense that they're now reading the white hat script. And so I do believe that that's what we're watching. And so, but definitely, uh, with the pro-Palestinian protests, the anti-Israeli protests, because Bibi is there, something's going down with Biden. But one of the things that we figured out a while back is that you cannot arrest Congress members while Congress is in session. So we've always felt that the major arrests were going to happen when they're out of session. So I'm glad they're out of session. I just would love to see something happen from this whole thing. Let me see. Nancy Drew showed a video a few minutes ago that they're currently taking the fencing down now. Thank you, Trudy. Where do you watch her on? What channel do you guys watch her on? They clearly want us to know that things are going down. Otherwise, we would never see these videos. This is true. This is true. Let's see. Gina says Brad is not always a reliable source. Thank you for that, Gina. Do you know anything in particular that he's not been reliable on? I'd hate to have anything negative about somebody without, receipts, certainly. I hate dealing in hearsay. Let's see. I was understanding that President Trump has his own military operation. Well, that's the understanding with the Q team, certainly. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, they've put the fence up several times and taken it down, haven't they? But Jacqueline, I watch her on Facebook. Does she do anything outside of Facebook? Okay, Margaret, I watch her on Telegram and Facebook. Would you drop her Telegram for me, please? I don't know if I follow her over there. Oh, by the way, I didn't drop on Telegram, and I didn't drop on that we're going live here. Let me do that. I apologize. I didn't do it on Truth either. I kind of get, I need to get like a checklist of what I need to do here. Here we go. All right. So we're at, let's see. Let me get that on Truth as well. Let's see. There we go. Okay. There we go. It's up on Truth and it's up on Telegram. All right. There we go. So here we go. And she's on YouTube as well. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. KB Live. Thank you. Thank you. KB Live. Let me pull that up. Because her name is Kelly. What's her name? Kelly Brady. Kelly Brady. Thank you. At KB Live. Why is that not taking me to that? That's odd. Alrighty. I'm not seeing at KB Live. All right. At any rate, Telegram under the name Nancy Drew. Okay. Be nice to have this. Okay. All right. I'll just go into the, let's see. KB Live. All right. That's not happening. There we go. Girl for Jesus. Let me try it another way. There it is. Okay. Got it. Thank you. I think I got it. So at any rate, sorry for that little sidebar there. You don't see me on Truth Social. I think I just posted it. I just think I just posted it. Yeah, it's up now. So from 2 hours on Facebook, yeah, I can't do that. I'm not getting your notifications and not appearing in my feed, but I found you, Suzanne. I'm getting a lot of that. That's just one of the ways in which they keep me down. They've been doing that for a long time. Jim says, Dave, if you put the word fence in the Q post, it takes you to post 392. It's about 3,000 missing children. Makes sense if U.S. Marshals are quoted at 3,000. That's a good call. That's a good call, Jim. Thank you. It does take you to 392. Yeah. A lot of stuff. Right? All right. All right. He's keeping an eye out for us. There's a lot on that one. A lot on fence. Yes. 3,000 saved by the raids in Saudi Arabia alone. Let me see. Hold on a second. $3,000 saved by the raids in Saudi Arabia alone. Worldwide lanes shut down, bottom to top. Haiti, Red Cross classified high priority. Where are the children? Seriously, where are the children? That's from an anon asking, right? So this is, and that was by putting in fence in the Q dives. So my friends, this is going back to my my queue. Let me see what is happening here. A couple different things. Now this is big. While we're on the subject of, we kind of got off track there a little bit, but what's happening in DC, part of it is Joe being there, much taller than he was normally. But check out this article or this newscast about Gavin Newsom, because there's only one thing that makes sense here, folks, and that is because he's going to be. Wait a minute. That he's going to be running again. And I think if it was the Black Hats, they would run him because I think he would be the easiest to potentially beat Trump, but he's not going to. But I think he would be get the most votes.
Thank you. We do have some breaking news right now, actually. Governor Gavin Newsom issues an executive order to remove all homeless encampments in California. The order comes on the heels of the U.S. Supreme Court's recent ruling allowing cities to enforce public camping bans. While Newsom cannot order local authorities to act, he can withhold funding to counties and cities. The order guides state agencies on how to go about removing encampments. Thank you. We do have some breaking news right now, actually. Governor Gavin Newsom issues an executive order to remove all homeless encampments in California. The order comes on the heels of the U.S. Supreme Court's recent ruling.
So that is, something like that. He's had, ample opportunity to do this, but he had to make the decision based on the Supreme Court ruling. And so that is very telling to me that he's actually acting upon something that he should have acted on a long time ago. And then he can run, I cleaned up California. And very interesting. So here is, this is a very interesting post. And I just put it up recently. This is something where I want you to listen to
President
this.
Biden, gentleman from
And it's very, very interesting. This guy is Representative Jim McGovern. Here we go.
gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
God, you can't make this stuff up, Mr. Speaker. So first of all, let me set the record straight. The original version of this resolution said, quote, President Biden asked Vice President Kamala Harris to serve as the administration's border czar, end quote, which he did not do, I don't know, someone made it up, I think, I don't know. And after my colleagues and I pointed out that fact, the gentleman from Pennsylvania and their side of the aisle of the, their side of the Republican side of the committee scrambled to try to find a shred of proof that in fact Biden actually appointed her as a border czar, and they couldn't find anything. So they made a frantic last-minute change to now say that Vice President Harris, quote, came to be known colloquially as the Biden administration's border czar, end quote. I mean, we caught you, but I mean, come on. This would be comical if it weren't such a monumental waste of time and taxpayer dollars.
Oh, it's
and all for a resolution that does absolutely nothing. The gentleman from Pennsylvania went on a big rant, throwing out all kinds of numbers and identifying all kinds of problems that we're faced with. And I'm trying to figure out where in this four-page bill there is anything, in this four-page resolution, where there is anything that would do anything to solve any of the issues that he raised. There's nothing. This is a non-binding resolution. This will never become law. This doesn't even go to the Senate. I mean, this is like voting on a press release. I mean, I mean, what?
So this guy's from Massachusetts, and I don't know why this keeps going back to where I don't want it to go, but this guy's from Massachusetts, and I said, look at the comments as this clown gets owned with receipt after receipt. First of all, you've got this, which is Biden actually having the conversation. Check
the VP today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks, stemming the migration to our southern border. So this new surge we're dealing with now started with the last administration, but it's our responsibility to deal with it humanely and to stop what's happening. And so this increase has been consequential, but the vice president's agreed, among the multiple other things that have in the meeting, and I appreciate it, and work with those nations to accept the returnees and enhance migration enforcement at their borders. We're already talking with Mexico about that. She's already done that. We're going to be dealing with a full team now that we have to be able to deal with the problem here at home, but also to deal with it now in terms of in country. It's not her full responsibility and job, but she's leading the effort, because I think the best thing to do is to put someone who, when he or she speaks, they don't have to wonder about, is that where the president is? When she speaks for me, doesn't have to check with me. She knows what she's doing, and I hope we can move this along. So, Madam Vice President, thank you. I gave you a tough job, and you're smiling, but there's no one better capable of trying to organize this.
Well, thank you, Mr. President.
no one better, and she speaks for the president.
And for having the confidence in me.
And having the confidence in me, which was misplaced.
There's no question that this is a challenging situation. As the president has said, there are many factors that lead president to leave these countries.
This would be the time when you schedule a trip to the border, Kamala.
And while we are clear that people should not come to the border now, we also understand that we will
You should go to the border. And so how interesting that this is, you know, that's just one of the receipts, folks. Look at look at some of the others. I mean, one of the first ones is whereas, let's see, what's going on? Why is that down there? Let me do this. Okay. This House resolution, whereas on March 24th, 2021, Vice President Kamala Harris was named border czar in charge of leading efforts to stem migration across the U.S.-Mexico border. They acknowledged that Kamala Harris was the border czar, okay? And she failed to do her job. They actually, yeah. And I actually gave the date, March 24th, 2021. And so now they're trying to back out of that. They're trying to, back out of this whole thing. They tried to get rid of her as border czar because she did such a horrible job. This is her. If you're able to chip in now, this is to help post bail, the Minnesota Freedom Fund. But it's unbelievable. And this guy was so, and this is her. POTUS asked me to lead our diplomatic work with Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras to address the situation at the southern border. We have to address the root cause of migration. It won't be easy work, but it's necessary. You're right. It's not easy work, but you should have done something. The Trump campaign and Republicans have tagged Harris repeatedly with the border czar title, which she never actually had. Axios is flat out lying. Shauna Chen confirmed Kamala Harris had been appointed Biden's border czar, writing, Harris, appointed by Biden as border czar, said she would be looking at the root causes that drive migration. So this Axios had already said it in 2021, and here they're backtracking on it because it's such a disaster, my friends, that it's, and here it is.
President and border czar, quote unquote, border czar. Vice President Harris was not a border czar. Meantime, Vice President and border czar Kamala Harris facing some backlash.
What he said about Harris and immigration was not true. She was never appointed border czar.
And this will be her first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border region since she was appointed as the border czar by President Biden.
People are going to have to counter the misinformation. You already hear folks talking about the border czar. She wasn't the border czar.
President Biden tapped Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, to be the border czar.
Now, she wasn't the border czar. That's what Republicans labeled her.
They were very critical of Kamala Harris, especially in her role as border czar.
Now what she's up against is folks lying about her border record, calling her a border czar.
Kamala Harris, who was appointed as the border czar.
The Biden team didn't declare her the border czar. They wanted her to work on kind of the root causes of immigration.
There has been so much criticism against Kamala Harris. You know, she was the border czar.
Calling her sort of the border czar, which wasn't necessarily the case.
So the border, if they weren't planning to address it in a major way, do not make her your border czar. She met with some of the Northern Triangle countries, but nothing has effectively changed.
MRC Newsbusters put that together. Thank you for that, guys. Holy cow, folks.
Quote unquote
borders are just destroying this whole narrative. And what's really amazing is that, this is absolutely factual that she was.
This whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border.
Our White House correspondent Jeremy Diamond is live from Mexico City. Jeremy, does it appear that the administration, the vice president, is making any progress here?
Well, listen, there certainly have been a few deliverables so far. Yesterday in Guatemala, we heard the vice president announce this new anti-corruption task force, as well as tens of millions of dollars in new U.S. investments to help develop the economies of the Northern Triangle. Today, we saw the vice president meeting with the Mexican president, López Obrador, and they signed a memorandum of understanding outlining how they will help to address the development of Central American countries. And what's interesting here is there is this increasing alignment between the U.S. and Mexico on that front, given the fact that Mexico, which has long been a transit country for migrants from Central America to the United States, now also increasingly becoming a destination country. And so therefore, Mexico and the U.S. much more aligned in terms of helping with development. In fact, the Mexican government has made calls for increasing development in Mexico. Now, you were also talking about the politics there, and the politics are hard to avoid when you're talking about immigration, whether you're doing so in Washington or thousands of miles away in Guatemala City or here in Mexico City. And that is because you heard the vice president urging migrants not to come to the U.S. She took flack from the far left of the party with Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez hitting her on that. And then when you saw those comments where she said that she hadn't been to the border, doesn't plan to be, and pointed out that she also hasn't been to Europe, she's taking flack from the right. So this is certainly an issue that has required some deft diplomacy on the vice president's part, but also some walking of the political tightrope. And we're certainly continuing to see that as the vice president wraps up her visit.
So, I mean, it's just look at the distancing, look at the absolute line that is taking place. And what's amazing, I think so much a part of this, folks, and I want to talk to you about Biden taps VP Harris to lead response to border challenges, and the date. Michael Eisenberg came up with that, and so this is, I think what's happening is what we're seeing here is that we're seeing the absolute dismantling of the mainstream media, not just the mainstream media, but Congress. That was a representative from Massachusetts of the United States Congress that literally went up there with zero clue as to what was really the case, and putting out false information. And not only him, but it didn't just come from him. It came from talking points. Okay. It came from Q always says, talks about the 4 a.m. Talking points, right? And this is how they get the word out to all of the press, which, by the way, has popped up in drops recently as to let me see if I can find the particular one I'm looking for, and I'm not, but and so this is very much, let me do this, just talking points. Okay. So this is, Q is basically telling us, and this is what's so great, even if you're not a Q person, this is what is so powerful about at least going into the drops, okay? Again, I've said, you don't have to believe in God to get value from the Bible. You don't have to believe in, certain, things. We learn things from people that we might not necessarily hang out with. But all these are, why was POTUS framed regarding Russia collusion? Project Truth regarding Hillary, DNC, Russia collusion. Why was POTUS impeached regarding Ukraine? Project Truth regarding Biden classified 199 Ukraine collusion. Blame opponent for what they themselves are guilty of. DNC media push, Echo submitted talking points, generate false narratives. So you saw, Joy Reid, and you saw all these pundits perpetuating this talking point of this that goes out at 4 a.m. of what they're going to talk about for the day. And I want you to think about, and this is by the way, this is all Q, all the drops on talking points. This is Maggie Haberman, who was with the New York Times. Q found 3 trust funds and that she's got 3 children. And how do you get your talking points? Well, they put money in these trust accounts for these people. How do many DC journalists, yourself, use and replace burner phones every week? So they get burner phones so that it can't be traced. How do you pass the new number out? Tweets are very important. Do you feel safe? Q was exposing how they were communicating. Meanwhile, Q was well aware of how they were communicating via Twitter, and getting these numbers to these burner phones. Remember, Q said we have it all. They have those conversations on those burner phones because they were able to see how they were putting their number out on Twitter, right? Who does Haberman follow? Think public and private Twitter accounts. They all have them. These people are stupid. We have it all. And how else do they have it all? They not only does Q have it all because Q was part of, the NSA was involved with Q and the military intelligence. So not only is that the case, folks, but Q was in charge of Twitter before Musk came in. Remember, we got that through Saudi Arabia and bin Salman. We got about 7% from Prince Al Walid. Access to Twitter had long before Musk came along. They weren't doing anything with it other than they told us twice. They told me twice. I mean, all of us, but I picked up on it. The first one, all the Anons picked up on it, and that was that Melania changed. There was a picture change from a 2012 tweet, from like a elephant to a giraffe, for example. I can't remember the exact thing. You can only do that if you have the code. You can't edit old tweets. You either delete them or nothing at all. You have to have the code. And so we knew that the White Hats had the code. Also, there was one tweet where Trump put out a tweet, and when you clicked on it, it changed when you clicked to go closer. And I picked up on that one. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that one, but I also found out that you could only make that change if you were doing the code. Okay. And so if you had the code, so they have all this communication that these people were doing from these public and private Twitter accounts, just like they got Hillary's through her Gmail account and through her private server. Q figured out that they were communicating by, opening up a draft and communicating through the draft without ever sending it, but having the same login so you could go in and look at each other's drafts. And so Q told us about that. Q also told us that they were communicating on Signal, thinking that they were encrypted, and that all the fires that were set out in the West back in the day by Antifa, Q was telling us that they had that information as well. Folks, they have it all. It's just a matter of how they're taking these people out. And quite frankly, when it gets right down to it, what we're going to be privy to when they do. And that's what we don't know. Right. So, so all of these are, and I'll show you this one. This is the one that I actually initially brought up to show you. And that is 561. This is January 29th, 2018. And MSM is fake news, propaganda, talking points, 4 a.m., private email addresses, paid contractors, Judgment Day. Okay. This is basically Q telling us, and this is back in 2018 that Q told us this. And you wonder why the mainstream media has worked so very hard to discredit Q. Folks, they've worked almost as hard discrediting Q as they have Donald John Trump. And so it's very important for us to understand that when you're thinking about Q, and you're thinking about the Anons and some of the people that pretended, the fake Anons, I call them, as bad as worse than fake news, because we woke up to fake news. But the problem is a lot of people didn't wake up to the fake Anons until after multiple predictions that never came true by these fake anons. Meanwhile, Q was not giving these types of predictions at all. Okay. And I just caught a question from Coastal Dawn, and let me, I'll get to that in a moment. Thank you for that, Dawn. Polar Bear Paws. Dave, the last several shows you've dropped on Telegram still not posted. I don't drop this show. I drop the link to Rumble. And so you should be able to click on the link to Rumble and go watch it on Rumble. I haven't thought about dropping the actual show itself. Maybe would that be better, do you think? So at any rate, Helen, I just saw an ex Kamala dropped out. I don't think so. I don't think she's been forced out. Helen, will you go double check that? Let's see. Agree, Polar. Please, Dave, post live to Telegram, please. Sassy Polar Bear Paws. Is that possible? I don't know Telegram well enough. Let me see. I will look into that, folks. So people are going live on Telegram? This is let me take you to my indoctrination page. This is the indoctrination, DavidSnedeker. This is the indoctrination where you guys have conversations. I think, why is this still connecting? What's the problem there? So I just put the links here. So I'll figure out how I can go live because I broadcast from, I broadcast from, what do you call it? From StreamYard. So this was this a show? When was this? Oh, this was my Spotify. Those Who Betray Us. It's only about 12 minutes long. And I did do part 2, but I haven't posted yet. So that my apologies for that for anybody who's going over to Shattering the Indoctrination on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can see Shattering the Indoctrination. It's just me walking and talking, kind of like the days at the beach, but no audio. I'm sorry, no video, just audio. Okay, let's see. Let me get down to the new comments. The question that I got from Coastal Dawn, Dave, can you give us anything more on how the financial system will be redone? Folks, I think one of the most egregious things that has been done in this movement is people like Charlie Ward, Godlewski, Simon Parks, Savin, and others that have pretended to know what's going to happen financially. There's been comments about silver going to, 400 an ounce, or, gold quadrupling, and Nassar, you're not gonna have to pay your mortgage, and you're not gonna have to do this or that. And folks, I have stayed away from any predictions along those lines, other than I have, predicted the rise in the value of silver, and that has happened, but I have not said when or how much it's going to go up. And so I offer silver through DavidSnedeker.com. You can find a really good company that does that, and go to DavidSnedeker.com and just scroll down, and you'll see it, and you can talk to some people regarding that. But it's really, I don't know. And here's what I can tell you. I have been a part of this revaluation for well over 12 years. And so when people like, we're throwing around Jassara is happening any day now, I was warning my listeners, do not listen to that, because I've been hearing that this week. It's going to be a big week this week where, major things happening. I have been hearing this for 12 years. And when I told you guys that, 4 or 5 years ago, don't get caught up in the Jassara, because what it does is, if you know that there's something coming, it robs you of your inspiration. It robs you of your ability to go out and make something happen for yourself, and it makes people victims. And so I have warned about that, and also warned about people that that are waiting for this, like waiting for, somebody to come save us, right? Waiting for Jesus to come, waiting for the apocalypse, waiting for the rapture. We got to stop waiting for shit, people, and just live like tomorrow is not promised, because it's not. And so now, from a fundamental standpoint, the fiat currencies are a thing of the past. They're not going to be around. It's just not. It's just not going to be feasible anymore, because of the amount that was printed during COVID, and it's not. It's just not going to stay the same. And the banks are failing. Remember, Q tells us the three sides of the triangle. The first was Saudi Arabia. That was a lot of human trafficking, and it was a lot of financing of our government. The second is Rothschild, and that's the banking system, and that's failing. And the third is Soros, and that's the media and the border infiltration. That's all going bye-bye. Okay. And so, and I've heard this guy too, and he's been off so many times. And so this is why I haven't gotten into that kind of thing, because people have ruined their lives because of bad information. Okay. And so we've got to, and they still pretend to know, don't they? Yeah. Oh, because Charlie's a part of the quantum system. Bullshit. Q said operators never divulge. And I will tell you this, that I am a part of a group that has been notifying me almost every single week for the past 12 years. And that group, the closer they get to the actual date of things that are happening, the less they can say. Everybody's on an NDA. So anybody that's telling you they have inside baseball on the financial, reset and all that, they're full of shit. And so you should not pay attention to them. This is one of those things where, hey, I've got something over here. And oh, wow. Holy cow. Oh, folks, man, somebody just texted me who's my contact in the government, very high levels, just contacted me and told me that Jassara is going to happen. This week's going to be big. It's got, and they're doing shit like that, folks. And it's bullshit. But if they convince you that they know something you don't have, or that you don't know, you're going to come back to them to find that information. That's how your ego works. And that's how they use your ego against your better judgment, because they sprinkle it with a little bit of sauce, a little bit of spice, that you're like, whoa, oh, that tastes good. Let me get some more of that. Let me get some more of that. And you keep coming back. You keep coming back. And the problem is that when they keep coming back, this talking head that you've been sucked in by has to keep up the ruse. They got to keep up. Oh, that didn't happen this week. They said that this and this and happened. So they're going to get back to me, or they're going to, or they forget about it, or they never come clean and say, hey, I'm sorry I told you that it was happening and that we had people over in Europe and they were ready. They were standing by in Switzerland to get the accounts and stuff. All this bullshit, folks. Stop it. Do you really think that the people behind a microphone are going to know the inner workings of the biggest financial revaluation of currency and fiat crashing of the system? Do you think that somehow that these people are going to know something ahead of the rest of us? You are not giving yourself enough credit. You're not giving yourself enough. You're handing over your mind. And so when people ask me, can you tell us a little bit more about how it's going to go down? The only thing that I can really say as a matter of fact, is that the current system is not sustainable. It's going to change into an asset-backed currency because what we're coming into is transparency, accountability, and justice in this world, and a part of that is going to be the financial system, okay? And the other part of that is that we're going to have to do transactions quickly, and I think that's where some of your crypto systems come into play. I know XRP has a structure. That's the one that I know probably the best, but I don't know crypto. But XRP has the inner workings and the connections and everything they're putting together in order to be able to make quick transactions and, across the world. Without a bunch of fees being sucked up by these corrupt bankers. So, at any rate, yeah. So, and Musk never said he was paying $45,000 a month. That was a bad New York Times, thing. You mean Phil Godlewski isn't the King Pooh Bob? Yeah, right. Wow. He's the king of poo, all right. But and the tarot readers, folks, one of the things that is that we need to understand too that that this is also our ego that is wanting. I want to know before everybody else. I want to know. I should know what's going on. No. We try to figure it out so we can navigate the landmines, but when in actuality they appeal to our ego of wanting to know first and know so that we can share it with all of our other friends or whatever. So they appeal to our ego, folks. So that's what I'm talking about. Lone Wolf One, welcome. Hopefully you found me. Let's see. Let's see. Bamlo, I've been using my cash and avoiding interest payments and digital transaction fees. To Rumble via PayPal, it's an extra 7% the bank spends for me in the morning. To Rumble via PayPal, it's okay. So that's interesting. So here's the thing. You guys know I can't do PayPal. They terminated me in 2022. Venmo terminated me at the beginning of 2022, devastating me, by the way, because donations were coming into me through those platforms. And when they took those platforms away from me, you all didn't shift to the new platforms. You all stayed with PayPal and Venmo, and then it wasn't convenient for you anymore. And even though I was still doing shows, it dried up. It dried up. It was a huge hit for me. And so so at any rate, that is so going through the Rumble rants. They actually send me a check. I've been waiting on a check from them for like 2 weeks now. They actually have to send me a check because they only pay through PayPal because of Peter Thiel. And I do know that they take a little bit extra out. So that's unfortunate. I don't know White Hat's Telegram channel, Evelyn. I can't help you with that. I will tell you that that the Telegram, the reason why I haven't spent a lot of time over there is because there were so many people going over there after leaving X during the purge, but you couldn't trust who was who over there. And so it was very difficult. Yeah, Sparky used to give on Venmo, and now it can't. But Zelle, Zelle, you can do Zelle. Zelle is so easy, guys. In Zelle, there's no money taken out. This is what I have available. It's Cash App is $ DavidSnedeker. And folks, Cash App hasn't, deleted me off them. So, what do you say we give them some love? Download the Cash App. Zelle, you can just go right from bank to DaveSned at Gmail. And then give Send Go, the head Sned, you can donate through that with a credit card. So, and folks, this is what keeps me going. This is, I give away all my shows. You know that. And most people do not donate. I will tell you that 97%. And this is who has so far tonight. So thank you. This is just tonight, and it's not a lot. Like last night's show was very little. So it's not a lot. So I don't know if you guys think you think I'm making big bucks over here, but I'm not by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm looking to get by until this all happens, because we're not supposed to, really profit from this movement. But we should be able to keep our head above water. and I should definitely be able to do that. Let's see. Edward says, I have zero problem sending you funds direct bank to bank via Zelle. Zero fees. Exactly. Thank you, Edward. And Edward, I know you don't have a lot to give, and you give what you can when you can. And I really appreciate you when it comes to that. So folks, it could be $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. It can be something. It could just tip your waiter. That's all. If you like this content, if you don't, that's fine. Move on. But let's keep the energy flowing, please. So let's see. Thank you. Praying for donations. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, Cash App really works great. Really works great. Yes, you did, and thank you last week. Yes. I got a message from Zelle after I sent you some money, and they said you need to accept it. Let me see. If you need to communicate with me too, you can communicate to me the indoctrination at protonmail.com. If you need to tell me what your name is and what you've sent and what's happening. So, but anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I'm sorry, but that is an important topic, folks, just simply because we need to shift, where our dollars are being seen and where they're going, because it's just not a place that we must stay in. We must move this this bar in the direction of the people that we respect and we trust. Okay. Okay. This is Let me see. Okay. This is interesting. I want to. You guys saw the height difference today. Okay. This is kind of crazy because this is not what we know to be true. And this is basically Joe Biden is like, look how much bigger he is than Jill. She's got tall heels on. She's 5'6". He's 6 foot. Okay. Those heels should make her at least, I don't know, 5'9". They got to be 3-inch heels, right? 5'9". That's 3 inches away from 6 foot. Is this 3 inches away from 6 foot? Okay. He also is always a little bit taller than BB, but looked to be even taller than normally. Okay. And so very, very odd. But these are the kind of things that we know that we're getting communicated to. Okay. And we need to pay attention to it. Right. This is a post that I made that I wanted to share with you. And I'll start with Ariel's post. Okay. Ariel said, third person, fourth wall, fifth element. You should know by now that Israel has everything to lose when Donald Trump gets into office. He is talking in the context, excuse me. Folks, check your coats if I forgot to say so, which I did. All your ego, preconceived notions, unconscious bias in your coat. Just take it off, check it at the coat check. Come on in, join me. Just a shout out. Yellow, Risa, $10 donation. Thank you. Been with you since 2020. Missed you so much. Thank you so much, Risa. Appreciate you. He's talking in the context of what Benjamin Netanyahu is requesting the U.S. government to do on his behalf of conquests. How I know. Benjamin Netanyahu, he was behind 9/11. He was behind the USS Liberty attack. He was behind the Hamas attack. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump blamed him for pulling support when they were taking out Soleimani, which was a very shady move that Donald Trump didn't like. And Trump has said that publicly. We're talking about a war criminal, a man who cannot even travel to other countries without getting arrested. I said yesterday they should arrest him. You had Iranian leaders who were relieved when Soleimani was taken out. So I highly doubt Donald Trump will be launching a strike on behalf of Bibi towards Iran when most nations know Israel is a threat to the entire planet. He was the one who gave dual citizenship to 89% of our Congress. Just by that alone, they are traitors. Think about that, folks. These 89% of our Congress has dual citizenship with Israel. That's treasonous. You cannot be holding an office and have a citizenship with another country. Israel was behind the occupation of the Sinai Peninsula in 1956. Israel was behind the Al Amira apartment complex attack in Beirut in 1982. Israel was behind the Levon affair attack in 1954. Do not sit up here and act like Donald Trump is hell-bent on wiping out innocent people when he knows and has a list on who exactly the targets are. Our AF Post. Oh, AF Post. Fact check. Trump is not sharing a statement made by Netanyahu in the Post. Trump is referring to himself in the third person here, speaking on his own behalf. Yeah. He said, if they do assassinate President Trump, which is always a possibility, I hope that America obliterates Iran, wipes it off the face of the earth. If that does not happen, American leaders will be considered gutless cowards. He's paraphrasing Netanyahu.
And as we recently learned, they even brazenly threatened to assassinate President Trump. And as we recently learned,
he's talking about Iran. right? Okay. So, so that was Ariel. And then I post Trump is dealing with Israel like he is saving them for last. And then I go to post 916 talking about the Awan brothers, Trump asking about the Awan brothers, whatever happened to them. Is Israel and Anon says, what about Awan? Is Israel involved? Q says this is an Anon asking Q after this comment about Trump. Okay. Whatever happened to them, Trump continued, with the two servers that they broke up into a million pieces. Whatever happened to him? Well, I believe they turned and gave up a lot of these people. You know, Assange said 99% of DC will fall. Q responded, "We are saving Israel for last." Very specific reason, not mentioned a single time. And I will tell you that there were connections and there were some links with Israel in the drops, my friends. But I will tell you flat out that you will not find Israel in the drops like so many other countries, so many other matters. It's just not. They just haven't gone after them. So yeah, and there's a reason why they haven't, is what Q is saying here. And I think that's really, really important to get. And when people, there are a couple things. One, the people that don't want this, don't want Trump, don't want MAGA, because he pushed the jab, with warp speed, he is, pro-Israel, like to a fault. Like, we won't even listen to, people like Laura Loomer or Ben Shapiro or Glenn Greenwald or, some of these people regarding, Gaza and Palestine and Israel, because we know they're, they're Jews and they're acting as if they're assets for the Zionists. They'll tear down other things. They'll bring news to us in other ways, but when it comes to that, they won't budge. And so we can't trust them in that regard. And so, what we're seeing with Trump, we're seeing him kiss the wall. We're seeing his daughter, his son-in-law, and his children marrying Jews, and I see Trump as playing the game with not just Israel, but with the pharmaceutical companies until it's time to take them out. And I'll tell you why I think this is going to happen. First of all, some of the people, they'll throw around this ceremony that we see Trump in a robe, and it looks like a Freemasonic ceremony. But it is actually what is it? A doctorate, like what do you call it? A honorary doctorate that he got from a Scottish university. And by the way, many of those, remember those universities that gave him all these honorable degrees that stripped them away, when it became, popular to do so. So very disappointing, right? And so that, but at any rate, it tells us who they are. And so a lot of people point to that, but Script Keeper and I, when we were going over that the other night, he was telling us like that wasn't a Masonic thing, and he kind of brought that to light after so many people have used that against Donald Trump. And then with the warp speed thing, he was talking about the alternatives like nobody else. Nobody in the mainstream media was talking about the alternatives, and they blasted him for that. And he didn't make it mandatory. And we believe that the one that he came up with was not the one that they that has done all the damage. That will remain to be seen for sure. But a lot of people have problems with him. But the people that have problems with Donald Trump and Q, they don't have a solution. I will tell you that flat out. I have not met one person that thinks, obviously the Democrats and the deep state are, they're terrible, they're bought and paid for, et cetera, et cetera. But then they don't trust Trump and they don't trust Q either. They don't have a solution. Pray, vote. Yeah, there are no real solutions. So that's disappointing. And they're looking for things. They're looking for more and more things, right? And it's that yearning, it's that looking that I will tell you that has hurt a lot of people because of who you turn to. I'll give you an example. One of my tweets today was Mindy MF Robinson said BLM just murdered 31 wild horses in Nevada by rounding them up because they were on land no one was using at the cost of over $624,000 to taxpayers. Anything that can survive in the wasteland of a desert deserves to live. Go fuck yourself, BLM, CD Warner Livestock, and Governor Lombardo. This is absolutely tragic that this happened. These wild horses, are you kidding me? This was the beginning of Billy Jack, folks. This was the beginning of Billy Jack when they were, all these horses were running and they were, directing them somewhere, and it was a beautiful scene, all these wild horses. And then they realized they're getting them into the pen so they can kill them and sell them for dog food. And so I said, where's Mike Gill? Because Mike Gill was in the horse business and killed a lot of horses, so much so that people refused to ride against him anymore because he was dangerous. But the people that I found out that were reaching out to Mike Gill, they weren't Q people, and they needed a solution to get rid of the deep state. And some of them weren't Trump people, but if they were Trump people, he said Trump took a deal. And I was like, no way. And that's where he and I had a problem. No way that Trump took a deal. You're trying to tell me that you're for Trump and you're saying that he turned on all of us and took a deal. That's bullshit. And he had no receipts for that. And he was completely wrong. He's been wrong about everything. Winged Pearl, thank you so much. Have appreciated your digs and truthcasts since 2017. Don't ever change. OG Sneds have truly learned a lot from you, Todd and Cindy. Thank you, Todd and Cindy, my old co-hosts for a time. Thank you so much, Winged Pearl. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And that's on the Rumble Rants. Very much appreciate it. So, my friends, this is, you really need to look, through things quite a bit. And let's say that Trump is so pro-Israel that he is not going to, take care of the, the banking, and he's not going to put all these people in prison and all that kind of stuff. Folks, we're going to have a problem with Trump. Why would he not follow through on all of this that we're seeing? It doesn't make any sense, because he's a hero. All he has to do is step in and do what we've, what he said he's going to do what Q has said that they're going to do. That's all you have to do, is follow through on that. And which is a big deal, which is why it's taken so long. But if he doesn't do that, do you understand how he's going to go down in history? His ego is too big for that, my friends. His ego will not allow him to be a traitor. Not going to happen. He's too strong. He's too committed to his country, to his city, which he loves, New York, but he had to leave because it got crazy there. Just like I had to leave California, you know, so many people had to leave those states because of what was going on. All right. We're up over 2,000 beautiful people right now, folks. Thanks for joining me on this Thursday evening broadcast. We are live here on it's 11:14 p.m. on my Central Time right now, and it is wonderful to be here and see this unfold, this absolute unbelievable world that we're witnessing unfold is wow. It is just crazy, folks. It is absolutely crazy. So here we go. Back into my my X here. This is okay. All right. By the way, this just popped up. This is from Chuck Colesto. This is a drone footage over the water tower where somebody was seen all the way up here, by the way. And if you can see it, this is a ladder from the back side that goes all the way up here. Okay. And then he would have been able to get out and walk around here. Okay. Or he could have shot from here, but the railing, but he probably would have been seen. And this is a way he could hide back here and then come around right when it was time to do it. And that's what we saw. So let's check this out. Boom. Now over here is where Crooks was. Okay. Over here to the right. Okay. On that single story building with a direct line of shot to Trump here at the stage. But the problem was that his rifle was found like 7 feet away from him. And some people don't think he got off a shot at all. And look at the clean shot. It would have been right here, right about here where Trump was set up. And this is where the counter snipers were. And we do see them turning from here to turning closer to this direction. And what's crazy is how they've always set up patsies as lone gunmen, right? Because then they make you think they've got it tied up in a nice little bow tie here and a nice little neat solution. And there's even a dip in the trees here, folks, where that shot could have come through. It was right over the trees, right? So, you know, what actually went down, what's amazing, folks, is watching how this is all playing out in real time, like how citizen journalists are saying, you know what, this doesn't make sense. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? It just makes no sense whatsoever. And so therefore, there are a lot of questions that people have. Now, let me get to, this was Julian's rum. Let me take you to this. Speaking of we're on the assassination subject, right? On June 13th, 2018, Q posted, "Thank you, U.S. Secret Service," with a photo titled USS Protection. The photo seemingly depicts two Secret Service agents in the front seat of a car with the main focus on the female in the passenger seat. I enhanced the photo. Is that Kim Cheadle? Right here. Thank you, U.S. Secret Service. That would have been June 13th, 2018. And here's Cheadle in front of Congress. Is this Cheadle here? Thank you, U.S. Secret Service. The other thing I want to point out that I didn't point out, I said, nice for Q to give us a preview, but also notice the picture of the plane in the foreground, and what do you see? You see Unite, which is obviously United. Could also read night because it's nighttime, but I believe it's United, obviously. So we see part of the U for Unite, and that been the topic that Trump has been talking about quite a bit, and so that has taken us into the Q drops, actually, that we are uniting, and that one of the things that I took you to the other night is that Q said crimes against children will unite all humanity, cross party lines. Nice of Q to give us a preview, I said. Okay. That's his height thing. This is Israel. Okay. This is very interesting. This is Dr. Russell McGregor, who I like to share. He's at Kill AU Deep State. Trump post from a couple of hours ago, Q1827, Deadpool release date 25th July 2024. Tales from the Crypt is what Trump posted. This is the Q drop. That is 1827, Tales from the Crypt, August 9th, 2018. By the way, this JPEG is Clinton 2 JPG, and it's the Clinton emails. And it's almost like they're coming back from the dead to get them, right? The Clinton emails are coming back from the dead. Then there's Clinton comic. I need to go into the Q drops to really see this very well. Only logic explanation is that the deep state knows that a big info boom will be dropped soon. It doesn't matter anymore. More censorship plus attention equals more eyes on. Critical mass. This can no longer be contained. That's kind of what I'm getting at. This transparency thing, once we get a taste of it, there's no way. And we're going to hold everybody accountable. Enjoying every second of it. Oh, hold on, buddy. Hold on. Come here. He's all tangled up. Come here, buddy. Attaboy. Good boy. Yeah. Comfy. Previews are over. Showtime. Previews are over. Showtime. Okay. Interesting. Let me go to 1827 so that I can get it up for you in front of you so you can read it a little bit better. And that is right here. Tales from the Crypt and Clinton comic. And it says, what does it say? Kickback. What's it say? I can't read this. But it's Hillary, and she's walking up to a noose, and then you see her feet dangling. And then you see the Deadpool and the popcorn. Okay. So what is he trying to tell us here? Okay. Let me see. Very interesting that and then here's the other thing. Today, Deadpool and Wolverine debuted July 25th today in cinemas. Okay. So this is all kind of related, isn't it? All kind of connected. Now, I've been telling you, I believe that they're going to bring Hillary back in once they get rid of Kamala. If it's the white hats, they'll bring Hillary in, and I think Big Mike will be involved, and then we're going to destroy them all at a time when everyone's awake enough to really kind of get that. And then, and I've also said if it's the black hats that is still in control of who runs, which I don't think that's the case at all, it'll be Gavin Newsom because he's got the best chance because they know we're going to tear apart the other group, the Clintons and the Obamas. Oh my God, we're going to have it teed up for us, right? Victoria, hi, quietly listening from Ohio. Victoria, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Let's see. This is interesting. Denise, yeah, I thought about this. Anyone else think it's off the shooter was Crooks and the Secret Service director was Cheadle. Crooks and cheats. Absolutely. That's a nice catch. I think I mentioned that about a week ago, but not at that extent. Let's see. Let's see. Wing Pro, I agree. I'm thinking HRC has to be back in the picture for the October surprise, maybe. The other reason why I say that, folks, is because of the I believe that Hillary and Obama are going to be the first two arrests. So this is going to go for a few more months. Was hoping no vote in November. I don't think there's going to be a vote, an election. I think they're going to run Gavin if it's the Black Hats, but I really believe it's going to be Hillary and Obama. I think it's going to be Clinton's and Obama's because the White Hats want us to expose them, right? Okay, let me see what else I can find. I want to play a short video for you because I want to take my little dude out for a quick little hang. Let me see. Let's go with Ben Carson, shall we? Hold on. Okay, I bought a little time because of the he just went upstairs. Speaking of passing the torch, folks, the Woke Olympics is the Olympic Games are kicking off in Paris, and on this particular day, I remember back in the day, I want to say, wasn't it Muhammad Ali was part of this one? And Barcelona 92, and then this one is Paris, and the archer hits it, which is pretty cool. But it was also passed to a transvestite in front of a lot of people, and it's pretty amazing. And this is so impressive that this dude can make that shot from there. But that's the old archers back in the day. They were very, very, very much the accuracy was a big thing. A little over 2,100 beautiful humans in the Sned shed tonight. Welcome, one and all. I do want to play. Let me play Candace. I rarely play Candace Owens on here. And let me do that. I want to see what she has to say.
And a new reason to rally around the war because, oh my gosh, how could you not want war this time? 9/11, how could you not want war this time? What weapons of mass destruction? War this time? The Taliban, war this time? Zelensky, Russia, Putin, bad war. How could you not look at the Ukrainians? Look at the amount of flags that people are putting in their ex bios. How could you not feel something when they put that little flag in their bio? You monster! War just this time. Oh, Bibi Netanyahu, are you anti-Semitic? Are you like a Jew hater? How could you not want October 7th this time? That's all we get. That is all the American people get all the time. We're such monsters. How could you not? Look, he traveled all this way. War this time. Like I said, everybody's feckless. So they just get in line. They do what they want because they're fearful. Maybe they got blackmail on some weird pornography website captured, and now they're scared. And so they just vote according to how they're told to vote. We know that there are blackmail rings in DC. So there's a little bit of that going on. Then there's just people who love the money that's just pouring into their coffers from AIPAC, every other lobby group, Big Pharma. Get the vaccine. It really works. Now, what really works is the fact that you're able to spend the money that you're getting to tell people to get the vaccine. I'm sick of it. I'm just so sick of it. I'm bored. Beyond anything else, I'm bored of the lies being told to the American people. And of course, it's very obvious, like I said, they want to go to war. And that is why Bibi Netanyahu made sure to remind us when he took the stage that Iran almost killed Trump. Oh yeah, he knows that. Apparently he must be in on these meetings, these briefings. And if you want proof that it was Iran who was behind that assassination attempt on Trump, well, I will tell you guys, just trust the science. They said it, that Iran sent them a message, and we're not going to see the message or what it said, or they intercepted a message, whatever it was. Maybe Iran just sent them a post and said, hey, we're going to kill Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Trust the science. And of course, Iran came out and said, none of this is true. Are the American people awake yet to the fact that they just make stuff up as they go along? Yeah, I am actually awake to the fact that they're just making stuff up as they go along. How convenient, by the way. How lucky is Netanyahu? He wanted to go to war with Iran, and then at the exact same time, Iran tried to assassinate Donald Trump on live television. So now I guess we have to go to war with Iran. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? Should Bibi Netanyahu buy a lottery ticket? Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be saying that because I guess I'm just supposed to like be pro-Israel because I don't know, AIPAC or something, or they're not funding me. If maybe for the right dollar, I'll just say all the stuff that the right says and the same stuff that the left says. And it's all so sickening. You should be sickened, and you should be especially sickened that their excuse for all of this is just to call you names. You're a terrorist sympathizer, a Putin sympathizer, a Putin puppet, an anti-Semite.
Did that resonate with you all? I didn't hear much of it, but anti-war, I believe, and using just the fact that we don't tolerate the genocide, then somehow that's going to be used against us, which ain't cool at all. Hold on. Doing a few things here. So, folks, what do you think? Any questions? Let me hit you up with some questions. And give you a minute to put some questions together, and I'll see if I can do a little Q&A. And let's see what you got. Uni Sophie, thank you very much for your donation. Much appreciated. Okay, let's get to it, my friends. Let me get into the questions. What questions do you have? Do I think Gates Getz looks different. Yes, I do. I'm you know, I don't know what's going on with that, but I don't trust anybody to be exactly who they've always been. Um, and you know, so I don't know what the situation is with that. It's kind of like, wow, it's so much is going on. How do we know who's real, right? Um, let's see. Is there still going to be an EBSL? I believe so. You know, it may be different than what Q said, just because technology changes, and you know they've had to change some of the strategy. But I do think that that there absolutely will be an event like that where we're alerted, because this is one of those things where we've just got to. It's almost like I think we got a glimpse of what this is. What this is going to look like when we were all sent home with CV, you know. And that's when most of you found me, was in March of 2020. That's when my audience probably tripled, quadrupled in March of 2020, because you all were sent home from work. Your kids were sent home from school. They were online doing school. You were online doing research because nothing made sense. And you found people like me, and here we are. Let's see. How is Mr. Whistle Whiskers? He's doing great. I just saw him yesterday, and I'm going to have him for about a week here, coming up in another week, I believe. Yeah. Dave, is Todd still decoding? I do not know. I know he's on Facebook, but I haven't talked to Todd in, well over a year probably. Just, you know, going separate directions there. Thank you. I noticed several looking different. Yeah, I've noticed, Julie. Yes. Face transplants and height boosters are the in craze in DC. And yeah, it's crazy. Did I see the new Biden? Taller, tanner, walks faster. Teresa, yes. I showed that earlier in the show too. It's crazy, right? It's absolutely crazy. How many different looks they send us to let us know. Angela C, yep, that's when I found you. Yep. Julie, I was with you much longer than that. Yeah, a lot of you were. A lot of you were. Let's see. I heard Barry is Hitler's grandson from a Sned show a couple years ago. You know, there was that kind of dive that we did where Angela Merkel and Dunham, which is Barry's mother, and what was the other one? Merkel, Dunham, and May. That there were pictures of the three of them as young girls, and there was speculation as to if they were, you know, Hitler's daughters, and how they were spread out too. And that's been done before. You know, Mayor Rothschild sent his 5 sons out to control the banks. Back in the day, to control Europe, and then eventually the United States. The bloodlines have kept their family in office. We've seen how the Bushes are connected through the Windsors, and the Windsors aren't actually the Windsors. They're the I forget the German family, Goth Balker or something like that. So Auntie, honey, thank you for bringing that up. I do believe that there's more to that than what we see, what we're told. I'm sorry. Dave, what they don't say is Jujubes want their old home back. It's called Ukraine. The lease is up in Israel. Exactly. And that's where the Jews come from, is Ukraine. That's where the Khazarians come from, and Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's like night and day from the Oval Office. And his speech was like 11 minutes long. It was teleprompted and it was awful. He wasn't wearing his wedding ring. He was more tan. His fingers looked different. Folks, I mean, they're telling us a lot. Elle, I found you about a year later, but your broadcasts have been lifesavers. Thank you. Thank you, Elle. I appreciate that, folks. And yes, and if they've been a lifesaver for you, may they be a lifesaver for me as well, because this has been a long journey for me, and it's been a miserable journey as well, because of just holy cow. Thank you, Angel. I know you and Vicky are together and hanging. My love to all you guys. A. Dunyan just got notified. Man, that's a bummer that these notifications are taking so long. Let's see. Oh, Renz, I just found you last week through Script. No idea how I missed you for 4 years, but glad I found you now. Me too, Renz. I'm so glad you found me through Script. I'm going to have him back on. I've had him on twice now. He's awesome. The other thing, too, is a lot of people have said, how did I not find you? You have no idea how many times I've been terminated, canceled. Like, it's just ridiculous. And you know, yeah. So Carol D, been with you from the beginning. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate it. Yes, back in the day with Cindy and Todd, then lost you for a while, Carrie. Yep. And that's on Facebook. The people that have stayed on Facebook and have not sought me outside have been missing me quite a bit because Facebook doesn't let me back on. So let me see. Deborah walking on the beach, cool. Same 2019. Let's see. Remember the snowman in July in front of Sephora's, and we thought Rothschilds used banks. I don't remember that. Is Barbara Bush a man? She sure looks like it. And that's kind of a crazy rabbit hole going down that whole thing, man. But I tell you, there's some truth to it. A. Dunyan, Renz found Dave in 2019, best ever, so down to earth with a wealth of information. Thank you. No, Carrie, I did not go over that. If you want to send me where you saw that, I can pull that up. Oh gosh, Auntie Dave, will you be giving us a P.O. box? I still have your birthday present from 2 years ago. Was about to send it out, then the shit hit the fan with losing your brother, and you took a break. Thank you, Auntie. I will. I am going to do that. I am going to do that. I've been meaning to do that, and just with money wise, it hasn't been a priority. So I'll try to make that happen. Let me see. Mike Pompeo was totally different at the convention. Joe was orange. Oh yeah, the watch had the wrong time on it. Yeah, I did a dive on that last night a little bit on the time on that watch. Mike, good to see you, brother. Been here since 2020. Okay, Carrie dropped that link. Let me see if I can grab that. I need to be able to almost. Well, let me go to John Jones Army 17. Thank you, Carrie, for that. And I'll let me see if I can find that. John's Army 17. John John's Army 27 or 17. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see. Because I couldn't go to the actual one. Well, let me. I'm gonna let you guys see what I'm going to. And let me know if this is not the account, please. Oh, this was. I believe this is Trump Force One. This was. That's what they call it, Trump Force One. He's watching. He's watching Biden. And I guess your question is it Air Force One? And I don't know. I don't believe so. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, that was kind of a dud, I guess. But they can all be gems, right? And if I'm missing that, please let me know, Carrie. I appreciate you sharing that. And if I didn't go down far enough, I can. Let's see. Sense of fireplace. Cool. Ron, good to see you. D, me and Sister Patty Jacobs found you on Facebook early 2020, then on YouTube. Yes. Tell your sister Patty hello. Is she around? Mark, Dave, or anyone else familiar with Brad Barton's podcast, Trustworthy or Grifter? Mark, I mentioned him earlier tonight. I do not know him. I don't know him at all. One friend thinks he's reliable. Somebody said earlier, Jesse Waters said it was Air Force One. Interesting. Okay, it was a video clip with Jesse Waters who mentioned Trump and said he was on Air Force One. Okay. Let me go to that. Okay. Let me pull that up then. Some of you already saw that. Let me find Jesse. This is hilarious. With the Grim Reaper right there. That's cool. Watching the funeral of a man who's already dead. Space X Force. Exit. The exit sign, like Biden's exiting. I like that. I got an idea. Why don't I let you guys join me? Huh? How about that? How about that, Dave? Yeah, that'd be nice. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Exit is circled, right? He's exiting. Is he exiting just in a spray shitty tan? Is he exiting just that, or is he exiting also? Oh, this is interesting.
Multiple angles.
UFO goes through a
Shot.
Stargate.
And I looked at the report that the weatherspace.com
Whoa.
did on it, and it just blew me away. There's also multiple photographs from other different people that have actually taken photographs of this particular event. This happened in Western Canada on Friday night. So when we take a look at this, it's kind of a look back at the Norway spiral. But I think with this, I think it's even more spectacular because we're just seeing something. We're literally seeing something almost like out of a science fiction movie here. This is incredible.
This is two different
If this
angles.
is truly authentic, then this is an incredible piece of footage that we have here. It looks like some sort of bluish, whitish kind of light ship. It's just pulling out, doing a curve, and then just shooting off, and like shooting out these like quantum kind of energetic sparks. After effects or something to do with particle illusion or something like that.
Doing it again.
And then I discovered this video actually has multiple angles to it. It was shot. And I looked at the report that the weatherspace.com did on it, and it just blew me away. There's also multiple photographs from other different people that have actually taken photographs of this particular event. This happened in Western Canada.
Wow. Did any of you see that? That's pretty intense. Holy cow. I'm just going to repost that. Let me see. This is interesting. Let's check this out. Different angle on the assassination attempt. What is this flying object here? And is that what was responsible for keeping him safe? If this was a real shooting? Very interesting. Excuse me. Folks, this is some crazy, crazy times we're living in right now. Unbelievable. Why is where is this Jesse? Here it is. Okay, here it is. Thank you, guys.
Joe Biden just moments ago gave an Oval Office address where he offered no explanation for why he dropped out of the race. His former opponent, Donald Trump, was pictured watching from Air Force One. There he is.
Interesting.
Joe Biden just moments ago gave an Oval Office address where he offered no explanation for why he dropped out of the race. His former opponent, Donald Trump, was pictured watching from Air Force One. There he is.
Watching from Air Force One. Now, there is, thank you, Patriot M, for that, and also for Carrie for mentioning that. So very interesting. That let me get rid of this here. So we're given clues, right? The Secret Service director, she said there's a difference between protecting a sitting president and the continuation of government. Do you remember that? Okay. So sitting president, okay, would be Biden in the, the bankrupt corporation now. And the other thing would be, certainly would be, continuation of government, which would be President Trump, right? And this is very, very interesting that we're getting these kind of clues. And the question is, folks, that we have to ask ourselves is, are these clues? Who's giving them to us? Well, it doesn't make sense unless it's, for our benefit, to kind of give us a heads up. Hey, we got this, we got this down. No problem, especially those of us that are awake, that are, been having a really tough time with all this in terms of how long it's taking and how much we know and how difficult it is to sit back and watch all this when we know for a fact that we're not that this is all going to come out later, but we're waiting, and we're acting. We're part of the transparency that's going to make this huge difference here. And we can't forget that we are, and I did this last night, folks, if you remember, we are the keystone. The key, okay, is the map of, which is the, the Q drops. That's the key, is the map. The stone is Trump and the Patriots. Q told us this. I just showed you last night. And so this is something that we all should make sure that we're taking on and understanding that, they're trying to communicate to us. Are we paying attention? Last night I showed some predictions that I was able to make with the Ingersoll Lockwood website, and also how I have tied that into to the the Q drops, and how very much we are at a place where it's time for us to end this thing. Here is a UFO over the White House. This is tonight, or what seems to be something hovering. We don't quite know what it is. They put some nice music to it, so that sounds good. So I'm still on this John's Army thing, and let me get back to my stuff here. So so at any rate, folks, this is very much an operation I feel that I've seen come through many iterations, and I think it's very, very important for us to pay attention. Wing Pearl News unlocks the map, and you help us stay on top of things, Dave. Yes, thank you. Speaking of the map, right? And that's how they've been keeping us informed. Exactly. Let's see. Actually, earlier tonight, there's a new drop on the Ingersoll site. I did the 2 new drops last night. I don't think there's any more from today. Excuse me. Okay. Let me see. Go to dark mode. Take you with me to what happened. Where's my StreamYard? Where's my StreamYard? There it is. Okay. Here's the Ingersoll website. Down here, you got DJT and 47. No, this is the same thing. But the let's see. This is the what we saw last night. This rabbit with the clock. So you can check that decode out last night. But basically, it looks like some piercings in the firmament up here, like what we just saw, by the way. Okay. Like portals, maybe, or cracks in the firmament, because I showed last night Musk and how he penetrated the firmament, and how I predicted that on David Rodriguez's show the day before it was supposed to happen, and then they delayed it 2 days later. But I predicted that he was going to pierce the firmament, and that's exactly what happened. And I came back and proved it a couple days later. But this is like a gold star, maybe something to do with the Eiffel Tower, maybe in Paris. But and then these are, looks like the Lincoln, the pool. Looks like these are tents, some kind of tents set up all over here on the other side of that. I didn't notice that earlier. And then, of course, the Washington Monument. And then what is kind of they're showing as the Capitol, but it's not really. It looks more like something like a mosque of sorts. And then you've got the this clock down here that looked like it was 10:10, which we've seen on the Mickey Mouse watch, and then the second hand at 20. So, but it's also very very unique in how it's set up. I think they use some AI for some of this stuff. So it didn't really tell me much, folks. Honestly, I didn't get a lot out of this. Normally, out of these images, I'll get a lot more. And then you've got the music on the other link, which I played last night. So, let's see. Derek Johnson says that if Joe Biden was real and actually president, this is the most damning speech he could ever deliver. But because we've been in the military occupation for 7.5 years, it's the most epic punch. Excuse me. It's the most epic punch straight out of the gate that's going to set up the finale to show the deep state. Sorry, I thought I was sharing that with you. Federal corporation, the swamp, and the subversive and manipulative language and tactics that suppress, shackle, enslave people in their minds, keeping them from knowledge and empowerment. One, you should have noticed every time he has had a speech, he tells you where he is as if we don't know the location where presidents address the nation. That was a big write-off to me. The fact that he said, I'm sitting at the Resolute desk in the Oval Office in the White House was like, whoa, okay. No way. You should have known. So, two, quoting the names of men who wrote and signed the Constitution might not want to be continued choice by those who butcher the ever-living hell of it and always leave out the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson, George Washington. Might want to read Article 14, Section 4, which defines the United States of America as a republican form of government, aka constitutional republic, not a democracy, which he continuously says. And many in government say that. Who wrote that? Probably not one of the people he needs to be mentioning if he were real. George Washington, who showed us presidents are not kings. Democracy with a president is most definitely monarchical in the form of which the federal corporation functions. Abraham Lincoln and Roosevelt are also not wise choices by a liberal or Democrat to use as their examples of democracy. We, the people, will most certainly decide, especially after 7.5 years of disclosures, becomes full exposure to the people when they unveil all the evidence. Also, for some LOLs in the first 5 seconds, listen to the phone ringing in the background.
George Washington, my fellow Americans, I'm speaking to you tonight from behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. In this sacred...
Did you hear that? Somebody's phone went off. I missed that the first time.
My fellow Americans, I'm speaking to you tonight from behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. In this sacred space, I'm surrounded by portraits of extraordinary American presidents. Thomas Jefferson wrote the immortal words that God...
Yeah, so interesting. It's all a show, folks. It's all a damn show. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a clock under the gold star. There was a clock under the gold star. So, yeah. Dave, look at the hat. Scavino grabbed it after Trump was whisked away. Yeah, I have seen that. I went over that with Oliver. And what do you make of that? I think it was just his hat that was dropped. I don't think it was a big deal. Yes. Liberty is mine. I just sent my first donation. Zelle is wonderful, so easy, and you get all of it. Exactly. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Zelle is so easy, folks. It's so easy. You're in paying bills or you're in there. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Let me just drop that. And thank you, Johnny. I appreciate you. Folks, I do appreciate the support. It really makes a difference. Like $2, $3, $4 here and there, $5, $10. It makes a huge difference to me. And it's literally 98% of you do not tip or, bring your own booze or, bring some bud with you or something, buy me a coffee, buy me a drink, whatever. Put some food on my table. It's always welcome because I'm here. I'm on this wall for you. And that's why I'm here. This was my calling. And I was taken off the battlefield for a little bit because of some wounds. and I'm back, and I'm working very hard to make sure that I am, giving you what I'm finding, that I'm sharing with you what I'm seeing, the comms that I'm seeing, and yeah. And remember, folks, it really is. Um, Yeah, pleasure's all mine. Thank you, Liberty. It was a hat drop, like a mic drop, like end of show. Yeah, I like that. The Zelle address is DaveSned at Gmail. DaveSned at Gmail is right there as it's scrolling across the bottom. Thank you. Why did Trump want his shoes? I thought that was, very odd. It took us to that Gulliver drop in the Q drops, right? I forget the number of that, but let me see if I'm 810. Yeah, I did a dive on 810 because I was looking at some of the I think that was a bust. I'm not gonna keep that here. But the Ben Garrison cartoon of him as Gulliver being tied down, I showed that the other night, and a lot of people think that might be an issue. It might be to show how everyone's tried to take him out, try to tie him down. And I will take you to the deltas for today. Also, with what I shared last night, I want to share with you again. And so we're going to July 25th. Okay, my friends. So, so why did he want his shoes? So first of all, I will tell you that I thought it was odd too, but a friend of mine who's a martial artist guy, and he gets in a lot of fights, he said that it's not uncommon for you, and when you're wrestling on the ground or with a lot of people or whatever, that you lose your shoes. So he said that's not uncommon, that they were so intent on covering him up, probably maybe straightening him out, to keep him down lower and then being on top of him. There's probably a way that they do it. I don't know. But so the shoes could have come off, and he knew he didn't have his shoes. But was it a calm? Because the other thing he said, fight, 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 was obviously a calm. That took us into the drops quite clearly, right? So it could have been a calm, and if it did, it takes us to, hey, Kevin or anybody, do you guys have the Gulliver post number that you can drop for me, please? So here we are, July 25th, my friends, and what really pops up the most is this kind of cartoon of Epstein's Island, okay, that was really downplayed, right? And it's basically Pepe, discovering the island, right? And discovering the temple, right? Which the mainstream media, what's important to really understand, the mainstream media has called his gym. Okay. We see, tennis, we see, these trees, walk, look, interact, talk. So this is kind of like almost like a video game, right? And then it's all coming out soon. And then the Anon's going to play the new Save the Children from video game when released. The cast of characters should be interesting. My belly is so full of winning. Another frog reference. Trump on Hannity. Talk about China, Mueller, false flags, North Korea. We wouldn't be here without all of you, Anons and Patriots. God bless and thank you. This is Q talking to talking to the Anons. Somebody asked earlier, and I just remember catching it out of the corner of my eye. Dave, did you ever communicate with Q back in the day? And I never did. I was not active on the boards. I would read the boards, but I wasn't active. The Anons, early Anons were like pretty brutal. Like it's like you know, getting on Reddit or, you know, on 4chan back in the day, you know, you people would rip you a new asshole, you know, if you were off on something or you weren't accurate or whatever. But, you know, it was just very, for me, it was just collecting information and then sharing it with you all is basically, that was I felt my job. And I was going out and I was doing the research when Q would ask a question. I just wasn't interacting on there. Do you trust the media? This is a drop from July 25th, Little St. James Island. This goes back to the how the Disney Cruise Line had a connection to Epstein's Island for snorkeling. Afterward, you make your way to second snorkel stop, Little St. James Island, where curious fish dart back and forth in the clear blue water, and colorful coral formations nestle next to amazing underwater formations, Little St. James Island. This is inside the temple. There was just a bed and a scaffold. We've looked at this many times. It looks like you're right on the water. ABC News told us it was just a gym inside the temple. Meanwhile, what kind of scaffolding do you have in a gym? Why would you have a bed in a gym? Why would it just be, you know, look like this? This is looks like, I think we did a dive on this. We also think that it might be covered like almost in plastic or something because of the reflection that we see. But very strange. There's almost like 2 box springs and 2 twin mattresses, almost like you could have multiple beds in there. Okay. So, so this is all very kind of creepy and kind of, you know, but it's all about the Epstein Island. Okay. And there's some other stuff, but I wanted to take you to, first of all, where I took us last night. And if you weren't here, let me see, for last night's show, let me see if I can find the original temple, because the Epstein temple was a let me see if I can find it on my show from last night. Maybe I can share that with you. We're at 812 on Rumble and 1587 on X and YouTube and everything. So welcome one and all. I'm going to wrap this up here pretty soon. Did I not share the screen on that? Let me see. Carrie, it also goes back to Disney movies, Paradise Island, where boys go as boys and never return as men. I think it's Pinocchio. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I love that Disney is failing. Seriously, it's in the Bible. God told Moses to remove his shoes. Susie Q, thank you for that. What do you think is the message there? That this is biblical? Let's see. Okay. Here we go. All right. Cool. Let me get to. I'm going to go to the. Let me see. See if I can find it. Here's the footage. Let's go to this footage. Thank you, Diana, for sending this to me. Moonbeam. This is footage from the backside of Aftermath. Maybe we'll see his shoes here.
Get that son of a bitch.
Yeah, I don't buy that. And by the way, why do they always have that view of him as a much younger boy? You know. So yeah, I do think that he probably lost his shoes that way. That's right. They did kick a shoe off the stage too, right? Hank's showing one shoe on his evil post. Very interesting, especially now that we're going down the. Oh, I saw that, Hawk. Take down the banner. Watch the shoe hit the ground. You will see the tracking plate hit the ground. Let me see that again. Let's see. I think it was an insert. I saw an insert. There it goes. That to me just looks like an insert that's laying there that came out of the shoe. There you go. By the way, the other thing that I found very odd is that the stairs were too narrow. Because if you got to get the president off the stair, you can't just walk one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. You've got to have a wider stairwell so that you could literally all of them could just walk down the stairs as is and keep him protected. They had to expose him to get him down those stairs. They had to expose him, right? Do we know for sure that they have inserts with GPS trackers? Yeah, people at the rally swore that there was a shooter on the water tank. I do believe that as well. I think one of the agents stepped on his heel and his shoes came off. They were walking off stage very close. That's very easily to happen as well. Yeah. I heard it's Crooks' driver's license picture. Yeah, but they don't use the one that looks really shaky, right? So let me see here. I want to go to is this legit? This picture here. It supposedly Epstein and Kamala. No, that I can tell you for a fact that the other one was not legit. This is a picture of her with her husband Doug Emhoff. That's absolutely been fixed. And if that one was fixed, I think this one was too, because I don't think that's Epstein at all. I think that's a crock. I don't buy that at all. That does not pass the Sned bullshit meter. That's a tracking plate to alert where he is at all times. Hawk says. Hawk, what's the receipts on that? Do they have something? Netflix donates $7 million to Vice President Kamala's campaign. Know what to do with Netflix, folks. Let me see. Listen to Bo Pony and Kim Clement's daughter. Bo Pony's been wrong so many times I can't listen to him anymore, folks. Kim Clement is legit. His daughter, I don't think has the gift, but she's keeping his life, his story afloat. Let's see. Yeah, I'm a March 11th guy. Thank you. Let's see. Gave him a flat tire. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, definitely Photoshop talk. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, most people dump Netflix when I brought up. Remember that night I brought up the cuties, and we talked about the cuties, and I think a couple thousand of you dropped Netflix that night. That was big. Yeah, and Obama and Big Mike's on board Netflix as well, folks. Yeah, Netflix sucks, and it's so woke, and I mean, it's just like the programming is just shit. Excuse me. Folks, excuse me. I'm still going to, share some of my movies that I did. I did one that was picked up by HBO back in the day. It's a romantic comedy. And I'm still going to do that because I'm going to create a micro studio, and I'm going to do movies, like really solid content, but outside the Hollywood system. I've already got some in the works. Like, I've already got one that's shot. My friend's got one that's 70% shot. And it's like real content without all the bullshit of Hollywood, because Hollywood is dead. Netflix is dead. Snedflix, if you will. And I'm going to do that. So if you're donating now, you're going to be a part of that. You're going to be a part of that, making all that happen and making those movies happen. Because quite honestly, folks, we do this, but after a while, you get tired and you need to just unhook and watch something good. But then you've got Hollywood shit. You've got Tom Hanks. You've got all these actors that we know are now bad. Yeah, it's just yeah, it's unbelievable, folks, what we're up against here, and just trying to get some damn entertainment in our lives, right? Just trying to get some damn entertainment. Andrea Dip, thank you for your donation. Much appreciated. And let me see here. I just wanted to find that. Thank you all, patrons who donated tonight. I really appreciate you. It makes a huge difference. And if this show speaks to you, please share it with your friends, folks. Getting back to okay. Let's see. Hey, Dave, there's an interesting 11-minute video on Telegram under Truth Pups. It is about a military comms that Trump gives. Second last video on the channel. Thank you for that, Truth Pups. Cakes816, if you're in front of your computer, or you can email me, will you email me that link that I can go directly to it, and you can do that on the indoctrination at protonmail.com. Then I can pull it up and go right to that link. And Charles Driscoll, thank you so much, my friend, for your donation. Folks, this is, I wanted to take you to my friend's, my friend Oliver, who is, does the show from time to time. We did a couple badass shows like a week ago, and it's just, some really great stuff. And so I want to take you to a couple dives he did that, let's see. Let me see. I thought I had one here. This was kind of funny. He said, caption this picture, caption this. And I captioned it. I don't think there's a lot. Let's read the captions. I said, I see your boobs and I see your dead people. Make tits great again. Am I right? But he had a good dive that I just want to find here. Here it is. Trump dropped the Dems candidate. Trump, do you really think Kamala will be the Dems candidate? Think again. Trump dropped the mega bomb on truth. She's back. Timestamp 255, drop 255. Learn to read the map. You have more than you realize. 255, mirror 522, drop 522. Storm coming, warning. Tales from the Crypt Post, drop 1827. The only logical explanation is that the deep state knows a big info boom will be dropped soon. Previews are over. Showtime. Popcorn Pepe. Timestamp of post attached 150. Also military time 1350. Drop 1350. Peace through strength. Now comes pain. Let's LFG. Let's fucking go. Learn to read the map. You have more than you realize. That's 255. 552, which is mirrored, storm coming, warning. Okay. And then 1350, which is the timestamp of the post in military time. If America falls, the world falls. God bless our brave fighting men and women. They deserve our deepest gratitude. Through their strength and the millions of united patriots around the world, we will succeed in this fight. Peace through strength. Now comes the pain. That's the second peace through strength from the same message. Also, this Tales from the Crypt, which I showed you earlier. Trump versus Clinton coloring book. Tales from the FBI Crypt. I showed you this earlier. And this is them, communicating to us. Comfy, previews are over, showtime. Folks, how long have we been watching the previews, right? And then Sir Oliver also goes on to say that, let me see. Is this the real reason why Donald Trump has been saying peace through strength lately? I mean, we know the quote is in the drops, but on his first day back from recovering from COVID, are we to believe Joe Biden actually signed this extension on statute of limitations? Who's really running this country? And Executive Order 13848 was updated again. Buckle up, folks. U.S. Department of Treasury, Foreign Assets Control, guidance on extension of statute of limitations, July 22nd, 2024. This is the 21st Century Peace Through Strength Act. Section 3111 of the Act extends from 5 years to 10 years the statute of limitations for civil and criminal violations of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act or the Trading with the Enemy Act. These are the ones that most are going to go down for treason, folks. Prior to the act's enactment, civil enforcement actions brought by OFAC under IEEPA. This is the Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, and the IEEPA is the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or the Trading with the Enemy Act, were subject to the 5-year statute of limitations set forth in 28 U.S.C. 2462. The new 10-year statute of limitations, codified at 50 USC, et cetera, became effective upon the president's signature on April 24th, 2024. The act states that an action, suit, or proceeding for the enforcement of any civil fine, penalty, or forfeiture, pecuniary or otherwise brought under these, shall not be entertained unless commenced within 10 years after the latest date of the violation upon which the civil fine, penalty, or forfeiture is based. This new 10-year statute of limitations applies to any violation that was not time barred at the time of its enactment. Okay, let me, I've got to, okay, let me get back to that. Bear with me here. And I apologize, you weren't here with me in this document. Okay. So they extended it to 10 years. Why would they do that? There's absolutely zero motivation for Biden, even if he's controlled by Obama, to do this. This is things like this, when we see things like this, and when we see Executive Order 13848, which is the which many of you know is the certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in a U.S. election. That has been extended, right? So why are they doing this? Why are these very, very important executive orders, my friends, being extended in such a way that they do not benefit at all? At all, they do not benefit the Biden administration, right? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, folks. Let me see something here. Okay. I got that email from you, Cakes, but it says no subject, and it doesn't have any link to it. Doesn't have any link. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So here we are, my friends. Let me bring you back in here. So that was from Oliver's dive, and it was a really good dive. You know, he's an anon and from way back, and just really does some good work there. So he's a good follow at Sir Censorlot, and he's a guest on the show quite a bit. So, my friends, I wanted to also bring you this. Now, this is from Josh Dunlap, and I haven't confirmed this, but here's evidence of Barack Obama committing treason by spying on President Trump. Obama implemented Project Folsom through UK intelligence to spy on the Trump organization and President Trump. This is also how they did the Five Eyes, where they got other countries to spy on us, you and I. This is the application. This is Honorable Boris Johnson. This is Secret Strap 3, SIGINT UK Eyes Only. Application for renewal of warrant to surveil 725 Fifth Avenue, New York, USA, 5th and 26th floors. On 28 August 2016, GCHQ CSO filed for permission to exercise Project Folsom at the request of the U.S. President, seeking intelligence gathering into the Trump Organization and Donald J. Trump for President Inc. I can't read that. At the location, 725 Fifth Avenue, activities include foreign and U.S. domestic signals collection in regards to communications with Russian hostile actors. Number 2, they approved Folsom on September 15th, 2016. Remember, before the election, allowing 90 days of initial SIGINT gathering with the potential for renewal should the situation allow. This memo's purpose is to request a 90-day renewal of Folsom's original charter with further potential for renewal thereafter. Since Folsom's start, a clear pattern of actionable leads have accrued, both from the Trump campaign itself, from former MI5 agent Michael Steele, and from others. Well, this all turns out to be false, and they extended this like they did the FISA by lying. U.S. National Security Advisor Rice has requested that we continue our surveillance during the transition period as internal U.S. intelligence is potentially compromised by the incoming Trump administration. For these reasons, we are requesting that Folsom's charter be renewed for another 90 days. Robert Hannigan, Director, GCHQ. Wow. Okay, so this is the director of the GCHQ in writing to Boris Johnson and requesting this extension. Okay, wow, folks, this is really big. This is really big because as they're all looking around like, who are we going to run? Who are we going to run? Well, we got to get rid of Joe, and Kamala is stepping up and she's saying, you're not doing this without me, but we know she's an idiot. And we know she's got no chance of beating Trump. She's going to get destroyed by Trump. So we can't go with her. So we'll let her be exposed. Right. And then she'll have to go away, or Joe goes away. She can't legally become. So Mike Johnson steps in as the interim president of the corporation. And, like we were saying the other day, Hawk, that's the time when, Trump isn't in power yet. And so they take care of all these deep state players before, without anything, without any connection with Trump, because Trump has to be away from it. Otherwise, they're going to think, oh, he's just, they're going after him he's going after his political rivals. And so, yeah. Jimmy Kimmel, I think, is just out for the summer. They take a break, and then I think he said that this might be his last year. Yeah, I don't think he necessarily stepped down yet. Yeah, okay. So I wanted to take you back to the boards and show you a few things here before I go. And this is the deltas for today. Okay, something big is about to drop. Okay, oh shit, Q is right. Now here comes the pain. Facebook death spiral, stock plunges. We were taken to that. Here comes the pain, and something big is about to drop. Completely separate, folks. On Oliver's dive, right? As a matter of fact, let me go back to that Oliver's dive, and Oliver's dive. That sounds like a Sir Oliver's dive. Sounds like a good dive bar. But we were just here, and I showed you this drop. Let's see. I didn't do that drop. I did this one here. Okay. Storm is coming. Peace through strength. Now comes the pain. Okay. This was 1350. This was a timestamp of the post from Trump on Truth. Okay. Now comes the pain and peace through strength. Okay. I'm sorry. This is what I want to be showing you. I'm so sorry that I dropped you there for a minute. This is the peace through strength, right? Storm is coming. Learn to read the map. You have more than you realize. And then jump to the deltas for today. And the deltas for today is something big is about to drop, which we just saw in that other one. And, now here comes the pain. All right. Also think Ray yesterday. Ray was in front of the FBI yesterday. Think Rod Rosenstein today. RR is also the initials of the new Secret Service director, by the way. Comms understood. Do you believe in coincidences? I don't know. Coincidences like when they did this drop, Ray was doing something the day before, and he was also doing something the day before now. Here's McCain. No name returning to the headlines, right? So I see that. No name returning to the headlines. I was just looking at this, by the way. Think Ray yesterday, RR today. McCain returning to the headlines. So what's the Sned do? Well, he's got to look up McCain in the news. So let me do this, and you'll do it with me. John McCain. And I'm going to pull up. I don't have the tab for news. Here's the tab for news right here. So, and the story is 2 days ago, Kamala Harris is added to the Trump-inspired off-Broadway musical Ghost of John McCain. This was 2 days ago. She's been added to this off-Broadway, The Ghost of John McCain. Returning to the headlines? Are you serious? No Name returning to the headlines? No Name. When did No Name travel to the UK? What did I just read you from the UK? No Name in the redacted portion of the FISA application. He was a part of the FISA application to spy on Trump with the US government. When did No Name travel to the UK? Do you think he had something to do with the UK government spying on Trump as well? I'm guessing yes. Right? What if the UK government worked hand in hand with the Hussein administration to sabotage the 2016 election? Data collection. My friends, this is the delta for today, July 25th. And look what I just showed you on my X about Obama. Evidence of Barack Obama committing treason by conspiring with the UK government, with Boris Johnson, with Robert Hennigan, to spy on Donald Trump and to interfere with the election. This is the delta. Voice, video, bugging, creation of fake intel dossier using X-Spy. Co-sponsor insurance X-Spy, that's Steele. Co-sponsor insurance policy regarding POTUS election. PSLP, this is PSLP, No Name, Clapper, Brennan, Rice. Remember Rice was on that document? Okay. I'm just forgetting PS and LP right now. Loretta Lynch, HRC, Bill Clinton, Hussein, plus 22 others. were involved in this. Damn it, LPPS. These are so easy. I'm forgetting these. What if Intel mass penetrations to frame? Russia, CrowdStrike, servers, Seth Rich, Julian Assange. Why does the UK government desperately want Julian Assange? Think source files. The more you know. Source files, well, if Julian Assange has the source files of the DNC servers, then you know, which Bill Binney already told us, that the download speed was too fast to be an outside exterior hack, and it had to be a download from Seth Rich, who had access to the servers as an intern in the DNC. And he was the one that saw that they were funneling money and votes from Bernie Sanders to Hillary Clinton within the DNC. And that was a violation of everything, of law, I mean, they stole the nomination away from Bernie Sanders in 2016. They stole the nomination away from all the other Democrats when they ran Joe Biden in 2020. Now they're kicking out Joe Biden, and they're bringing in Kamala, but they're going to kick her out too. None of this is because you voted for somebody. She didn't have any kind of support like this. None. That's huge, folks. This is straight from the Constitution, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. Say that again. The government's long establishment should not be changed for light and transient causes, like, gender reaffirming and, we're having a lot of school shootings, so we got to get rid of the guns and, et cetera, et cetera. These are light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. Folks, read that one again. All experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. This is us getting out of our comfort zone. This is us getting out of our convenience. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for future security. We need to throw off this government. You are watching the systematic destruction of the old guard. Power will return to the people. A lot of people were pissed off the other day because General Mike Flynn, mentioned an old guard in his post, and it was and it takes us to the Q drops, and he kind of threw everybody under the bus with the Q drops. This is the oath that many of us took with General Flynn. And rest in peace, Mr. President JFK, through your wisdom and strength. Since your tragic death, patriots have planned, installed, and by the grace of God, activated the beam of light. We will forever remember your sacrifice. May you look down from above and continue to guide us as we ring the bell of freedom and destroy those who wish to sacrifice our children, our way of life, and our world. We the people, prayer said every single day in the Oval Office. JFK Secret Societies, this is a misspelling. Where we go one, we go all. Q. Okay. This was in reference to the Secret Societies speech that that JFK gave, right? But this was a prayer every single day in the Oval Office while Trump was in office. Okay. I want to say that again. This prayer was said every single day in the Oval Office during the Trump administration. You with me? Patriots have planned, installed, and by the grace of God, activated the beam of light. The beam of light. Could that be, dark to light? Could that be looking glass? Maybe you look down from above and continue to guide us as we ring the bell of freedom. Folks, this is today's Delta. Okay. Is R real or fake? This is when R posted and people were wondering what R was. Excuse me. And Q said there is only Q. Okay. Also, remember, no outside comms. Right. Happy days ahead, Patriot. Okay. Happy days ahead. This is the 25th. Okay. This is the Delta for the 25th. Let me get to the chat. Let's see if any of you chimed in with the hey, Balls, thank you, brother. Good to have you here, by the way. And thank you, guys. If you want to check out Balls online on Rumble, he drops some really cool stuff here, and I'll share it with you. Let me see here. And Balls is a friend and does a lot of my stuff, shares a lot of my stuff. And here he took my show from the other day and did kind of a promo clip. So he kind of I don't like that. I don't have to deal with that. But so yeah, he does a lot of my stuff. So thank you, Balls. So check him out. Guys, go and give on Rumble, go ahead and give him a join over there. Oh, that's the Rumble, but you can give him a follow. I'm already following. Yeah, he's got some good stuff there. So please check him out. And yeah, so thank you, brother. And all these deltas year after year, there's something that matches with Q has said. Yeah. Susie Q says, I watch Balls on Rumble slot. Thank you, Balls. Absolutely. Yeah, we are getting there. It's happening without question, folks. Let's see. Wow again, Dave. Thank you. Is that is that relation to that thing? Dave, I would like your take on Charlie Ward and General Flynn being associated. Well, listen, he went on anybody's show to get, sell his book and to get support. But what a disappointment, when I once thought General Flynn was the real deal, and I see him doing shows with guys like Charlie Ward doesn't give me confidence in General Flynn, by the way. And General Flynn, by the way, knows who I am. He shared out my work on Mike Gill, actually. I found out that he was sharing that out. Oh, you're welcome, Balls. You're welcome, bud. Hawk, I'm not a troll. I'm just grumpy a lot. That's funny. We are at the tail end of the Great Awakening. Okay. I absolutely believe that. Am I the only one that believes in the Sarah Great Scott? No, I do believe in it. Scott, I believe that's going to happen. I'm just very, very careful about talking about it as if it's going to happen soon or that you should change your life because of it. Do not change your life. Thanks, Hawk. I'll check Signal. So what else? One of the things I wanted to do is I also wanted, okay. Well, I covered this last night. The fact that these deltas were coming up, and I was not aware of them. Oh, I was asking you who PS and LP are. PS and LP. PSLP. Let me see if they're in the research abbreviations. That's what I was going back to the chat for. You people are leaving me hanging, folks. Come on now. LP, Lisa Page. Yes. And Peter Stroke. Yeah, Lisa Page and Peter Stroke. That's who that is. Okay. And by the way, Q told us who that was. Okay. Q told us, who interviewed Clinton for the emails, who interviewed Weiner for the laptop, who interviewed Huma Abedin for some other thing, who interviewed such and such for something. And the answer the Anons found was this guy, this FBI agent, Peter Stroke. And it's like, is he the only FBI guy that interviews people for all these different things? And so we realized that Q made us realize that they use certain players over and over again because they already have them in their pocket. They already have control over them. Okay. All right. So let me go to my history because it's probably in there. And I think it was last night into this morning. And it would have been the keyboards, and it would have been, I got to go back a ways here. Who was here for the show last night? Do you remember? There were two things. Let me see. Sorry. Keystone. Okay, I looked up Keystone. I looked up 22nd, 14. Let me see. Week to remember. And this is important that I bring this up, especially for those that weren't with me last night. So it's primarily for you and a reaffirmation of the people that let me see. 22nd. Shoot. What it is damn it. All right, you know what I'm going to do? Shit, I was going to do this earlier actually. I'm going to go to my content. I'm going to go to the show last night. And I'm going to pull that up and I'm going to find that because I remember it was at the end. Oh, by the way, the unity, that's a big thing that's been going down. I told you that's what will unity will unite. Crimes against children will unite all of humanity, cross party lines. Won't be able to walk down the street. I did that one. Stay together. I think it was earlier. Actually, it was much earlier. Actually, I remember this now. Last night was a good show, folks. I gave, I talked about the predictions that I was able to do with Ingersoll Lockwood, and I'm not seeing the part with the Epstein and all that. Was it 2 days ago I did that? I thought it was last night. Yeah, it might have been 2 days ago. Okay, I just went through my entire show from last night. Let me go back one more and see if it's there, and I think it is. Thanks for your patience, folks. Here it is. Okay.
Leader support one party.
Okay, so let me take you there. Except I got to do it over here. 217. And then while you're watching this, Hawk, I'll check out Signal. Okay. 217. Was it 217? Yeah, 38. Okay. So let me start it here. And I'll play this for you. And I think it'll go right into it. So you should be able to track it. Let's see. It's being... let me take you to that screen. By the way, that was Sheila Jackson Lee with her pedophile. You see all the symbolism. Remember the Democrat convention, like the D2, and it was like the upside down, the Baphomet symbol. I mean, one party discusses God, one party discusses darkness, one party promotes God, one party eliminates God. Symbolism will be their downfall. The great deceivers. When was the last time you witnessed a Democrat Party leader being patriotic, exhibiting national pride, love of country? When was the last time you witnessed a Democrat Party leader speak out against the riots, violence in the streets? When was the last time you witnessed a Democrat Party leader support those who took an oath to protect and defend? When was the last time you witnessed a Democrat Party leader support and call for unity across our nation? All assets deployed, information warfare, infiltration, destruction of America. Have faith in humanity. Have faith in yourself. United we stand. God wins. Folks, this is 2020. The destruction of America certainly, happened with those riots that were happening in the summer of 2020, the summer of love, right? After the George Floyd incident and all that, and how they created a race war, how they created riots, how their narrative and their verbiage was very violent. We've seen clips of Maxine Waters. We've seen clips of Pelosi. All these people that are supposed to be leading, and they're dividing. And all assets deployed is also the reason why I think they'll bring back the Clinton what do you call it? Obama machine to try and take out President Donald John Trump. And so looking at more of the symbolism, I just want to make sure I'm here in the picture. Where is that? No, I don't want to do that. Excuse me. Let me speed this up just here. No, there we go. I'll stay with that. And so the symbolism, folks, Q has been telling us about this all along. Here's Lady Gaga with all of the presidents. Okay. The one president she's not with is the outsider, right? Is the guy that all of these men tried to keep out of office. All of them did. All of them claimed, including her, claimed to, not want to support this man. This is what I was showing the close up of. Okay, Lady Gaga and all these. And we're talking we're talking a satanic cult, my friends, and there's no getting around that. And so let me just share a few more symbolisms. This is big, folks.
This is it.
Excuse me. I touched on this the other night, and I want to share it again. Many of you are quite aware of the Epstein Island temple. Excuse me. Okay. The Epstein Island temple is this, right? That we've all seen it, right? And then they claim that it's his gym, right? Well, what a lot of people don't understand is that that temple is a what do you call it? A mock-up of this temple, okay? And this temple is goes back to, it's called the Mamluk, I believe. Yeah, okay. And let me show you what the Mamluk is. No, let me take you there. Here we go. So the Mamluks are translate to one who is owned. Okay, it's a slave. They were non-Arab, ethnically diverse, mostly Turkic, Caucasian, Eastern, and Southeastern European, enslaved mercenaries, slave soldiers, and freed slaves who were assigned high-ranking military and administrative duties, serving the ruling Arab and Ottoman dynasties in the Muslim world. Okay. Now, what's really, really unbelievable about this, okay, this was their temple. This temple that Q showed us. Okay. And they are child slaves. Their status was above ordinary slaves who were not allowed to carry weapons or perform certain tasks. In places such as Egypt, from the Ayyubid dynasty to the time of Muhammad Ali of Egypt, Mamluks were considered to be true lords and true warriors with social status above the general population in Egypt and Levant. In a sense, they were like enslaved mercenaries. I actually lived in Levant in Istanbul, Turkey. But what they would do is, I don't want to just, read to you. But what they would do is that they would, the boys, they would use them as sex slaves when they were younger, and then train them as soldiers, and then the girls, they would use them as sex slaves and train them as concubines, as basically whores, hookers, right? But they started them very young. And the reason why they started them very young is because that is where they basically suffer through a process called the cremation of care. And in the cremation of care, through physical, sexual, emotional abuse of children at very young ages, they are they lose their soul, because through all of this trauma, that they break their innocence, they destroy their innocence, and they have their compassion pulled out from them. So what better training for a soldier? You don't want a soldier with compassion, do you? Right? If you want to be a true warrior, if you want to have a true empire. And you don't want a hooker or concubine with compassion, because you want to be able to use her and them for information slaves, sex slaves, and so forth. This in the drops, excuse me, this building is the exact Epstein Island's building is the replica of this. The Ellen Show, Disney, all use this symbolism. Okay, and so we know what was going on Epstein's Island. Okay, because they told us, and Q said symbolism will be your downfall. So we know what was happening to underage, not underage, just children at these places. And Q said military is the only way. Actually, Q said the only way forward is military. The only way is military was one of the drops. That was one time in all of the 4,966 drops. 20 times Q said, and I repeat this a lot, folks, so please don't give me a hard time if I repeat this, because this is why this is so important. That's why I repeat it. Transparency, accountability, and justice is the only way forward. Q said that 20 times. That's why what we're doing right now is so important, is that we are talking about these things that they have kept hidden for generations. But they use a secret code in talking about these things, and that code is the symbolism that they use. And we're finding out about the symbolism. I guarantee you, when Sheila Jackson Lee wore that pedophile ring, that people weren't awake to what that was. They weren't awake to what that was. Now we are, because we are seeing the transparency, we're demanding the accountability, and we are going to bring them to justice, because we, the people, are tired of what's happening, and we have been shaken awake by this show, which Q mentions 100 times. Enjoy the show. And the only reason somebody would tell you to enjoy the show 100 times is because they know that you're not going to enjoy it, that it's going to be a shitty show, and it has been a shitty show, and it has not been enjoyable. But the only reason why they would keep telling you that over and over and over again is because they know you're going to enjoy the end. And they want us to not lose our minds through this whole process, which isn't easy, by the way, to not lose our minds through this whole process. It's not. It's absolutely, it's very difficult to not lose our minds. And so that's why they keep telling us, right? So, all right. So, wow, that guy's good. A little slow, but he's good. I recommend giving him a follow. What do you think? Hey, a couple things. So I did that without going ahead to knowing that today's Delta was the Epstein's temple. And I wish I had a dime for every really, just serendipitous moment I've had with Q over the years, and how very, this is the 25th, July 25th. It's the Deltas, right? That's the one I wanted to go to here. Is this one here, and it's all about Epstein's Island. And folks, this is with all the unite. One of the things that I've told you, and I've said this for years, is that we know, because people have said to me, how are we ever going to come together? Everyone's so divided. Everyone's so, split apart. How are we ever going to come back together? Q tells us crimes against children will unite all humanity, cross party lines. Look at all the messages we're getting. Unite, unite, unite from Trump. Okay. We got it from this post of the Secret Service, and we saw United plane, but it said unite, right? And this is going to bring us all together. This is going to wake everybody up, and this is going to put some people in the hospital. Okay. So shifting gears, I want to just address the thing that Hawk said. So Hawk was saying that thing that fell out of Trump's shoe was a tracking device. So they used to, Hawk's a Marine vet, they used them for dignitaries coming into combat zones, right? And the actual thing, and this is something I didn't know about. So so thanks for sharing this, Hawk. This is like the Smart Soul. This is where, if you have an elderly family member, you have a dignitary, you put these trackers in the souls, and they're really, really very, very accurate. And so my question was, do we know for a fact that Trump had them on? And he said, from the appearance of the item that fell out of the shoe, they looked like standard military issue. And and they're even more advanced than the company brand, including up to 1,000 miles detection. And that, by the way, Hawk is also saying, might be saying, wear my shoes, get my shoes, because he wants to make sure wherever he's put that they've got him tracked, right? And so, you know, they wanted to put him on a gurney, possibly instead of him walking off stage. He's only concerned was getting the shoes, because if they put him in the ambulance without a tracker, they might lose him. By the way, that's how they found the ambassador's body from Benghazi. They actually tracked the ambassador on the ship. That's how good the radius is. So thank you for that, Hawk, for straightening that out. The other thing, I see somebody new in the chat. I want to say, is it Dragonfly? So welcome, Dragonfly. Go to Freedom Channel. He said, the show that Dave and FCB did on Gilbox. Okay, so just to welcome, by the way, and I'm glad that you found me through FCB. I don't know him. I've never communicated with him. What he did was, what I did was I shared a show that he did in my receipts on Telegram that has a whole list of, you know, Johnny Cerrucci and Brendan O'Connell and Aaron Day and all these people that have interacted with Gil that had a, you know, just had a huge problem with him. And I heard about another one today down in Arizona. So, but and so I shared FCB's Gilbox, his show. So I shared that. And then he shared my expose of Gil, my 3.5 hour long show, which is on Rumble, and it's called Be Careful Who You Follow. It's a rebroadcast because Rumble stopped playing the original. So so welcome, and I just wanted to clear that up. So I have not done a show with FCB. Tanya Joe, you all still gone? Been asleep for 2 hours. Woke up, heard Dave talking. Well, we were waiting for you to come back. We heard you snoring. It wasn't that bad. It was a really sweet snore, actually. It wasn't bad at all. Yeah. And yeah, the Nessun Dorma, I showed that the other night, man. That was something, man. The end of Sum of All Fears, I showed that last week, and I showed the end of the RNC, man. It was unbelievable. Yeah. So, okay, let me get back to the get caught up here. Folks, if you would like to support this Truthcast, that's how you may do it. You may also go to DavidSnedeker.com, and there's some things there that you can partake in, which are fantastic companies. In my water, I put a product called Mysterium, and you can get that from Jasmine at Saint Solutions. And that's where you can get Jasmine at saintsolutions.com, and you can ask about Mysterium and colloidal silver that they make. This is the first product I ever offered, one of the few products I've ever offered. Her and her father make this incredible product. Thank you for those who have who are patrons, allowing me to do the work that I am doing, and is also, by the way, is going to allow me to do much more than what you're seeing here, by the way, much more. And I know you're going to be very excited about it, because I've been working on these things for a very, very long time. If you want to follow me on X, I'm at DaveSnedeker, at DaveSnedeker. If you give a thumbs up and some love to Hawk, at Hawk's Mustard Seeds 25 on YouTube, all one word. Give him a follow if you would, please. And then Twitter X at Hawk's Mustard 1. what else? What else should I share with you? If you want some really good beef, go to Donovan. Go to lightningspringsranch.com. Discount code Hawk. And that let them know I sent you or Hawk sent you, and basically we're just supporting this family in Utah who has really good beef and grass-fed, grass-finished, and good family folks. So my friends, I believe I want to shut down the broadcast for this evening. And I just wanted to say that tomorrow is July 26th, and I'm just gonna take you before I shut down. I just wanted to take you to a sneak peek of the deltas for tomorrow. I will do a show tomorrow as well, but Coates gone, declass of documents. Next week, change of DNI, Durham News. Fly, Dan Coates. The C before D, Coates before D class. This is more on Epstein. This is Clinton with Ghislaine. Facebook, more Facebook stuff. We saw him on today's deltas. Yeah, this is some interesting stuff, my friends. That's going to have Paul Ryan's back in the drops. Comms put to death. God is coming. Colossians 3:5. Your evil has no place in this world, folks. I do believe. Stand the fuck down. I don't know who this is. I forget. But what was that close up, by the way? But this is, tonight's show. Tonight's title was The Week Ahead, and Head Sned on the week ahead. Joe, something's got to go down with Joe. They got to get him out of the picture. Kamala, how are they going to get her out of the picture? Is it going to be the fact that she can't hold that office? Will they bring that to light? And when they bring that to light, will they bring back Obama's to light? Okay. The fact that he was not eligible. Or do they take her out as well? Mike Johnson comes in. That's when things are really moving in a direction that they should. Now, bottom line is, if they do nothing, if they keep, Weekend at Bernie's moving along with Joe, and they keep that whole thing going, then Kamala just starts to run a race, and they focus on her, and they show that she's not eligible to even run. And that's when you're going to see what I believe to be the Clinton-Obama machine step up. And I believe that's what's going to happen. If they want to bring a younger into the picture, that would be a Gavin Newsom as a VP, and running possibly with Hillary. That's going to be beautiful, folks. And also more coming out on this assassination attempt, the exposure of the Secret Service, and more importantly, all the things that we're seeing come across our path. We must remember that they have done these things before. Okay. Thank you, Viola. They have done these things before. And we must understand that we must remember that, history repeats itself. And if we don't remember the history's mistakes that we've made, we're condemned to repeat them. That was Seneca. That was Lincoln. And yeah, so that's it for tonight, my friends. Thank you so much. God bless you. Much love to you. Continue to grow, to strengthen, to love one another. Folks, do not let them get the best of us by taking your joy. Do not let them affect your soul. It's all good. We're moving in a really, really good direction. And we're a lot closer to the end than we've ever been. And we're all still very, very much awake and more waking up as well. Angie, I'm still in my pajamas all day watching you, Dave. Best time spent. Thank you, Angie. All right. Good night, everybody. Much